Okay. I'm doing little things here because we're going to be playing some amplified Minecraft, but I have the wrong thumbnail, so I need to fix that. There's a way to do it. Just give me a second here. Only the most professional. Let's see. And forgive me, I woke up like about an hour ago, had a cup of coffee, and just thought it would be great to do a live stream. But I need to switch the thumbnail because the thumbnail is wrong. So let me change that here. There we go. There we go. Make sure it's in the right playlist. Yes. Okay. There we go. I think let me get my stream settings back up here. Doing okay. And hi, Monkey-Mon, how's it going? Just doing a little Minecraft streaming here. Let me switch over here. I stupidly didn't change the thumbnail for the for the live stream, so I had to change that. I'm doing great. I just woke up, got up about an hour ago. I've had my first cup of coffee. I'm working on my second cup of coffee. It's embarrassing. Shh, super secret. Shh. Hi, the archive. How's it going? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I accidentally put the wrong thumbnail, so I apologize for that. I'm stupid and idiot. But this is Minecraft Amplified. This is my first time playing it, and I love it so much. I really do. Let me change something here. Look at things. Okay. I think. Oh, hey, look. There's a. Let's see if we can attract it. Where were they? Oh, doggone it. Okay, hold on. Is he coming? Did I attract him? No. Oh. Hello. That might have been a mistake. Hello? Hello? Okay, you coming? Come here. Come on, come here. Come here. Come here. Come here, stupid thing. Where is he? This might have been a mistake. I kind of want an ender pearl, though. Hi, Swag. How's it going? Welcome. A rare... You know what? Oh, it should be stuttering. I got an error saying that that there's some stuttering. That's disappointing. So, yeah, it looks like there's some dropped frames. So hopefully it's not too bad. It is a Snorgle. It's a Snorgle. For me, it's morning. I've had my first cup of coffee. I'm consuming my second cup of coffee. And I thought this would be a nice morning for some amplified Minecraft. But I just made an Enderman very angry, and so I think I'm going to go down here and do a little mining while they go away. I mean, we very well might do some crime scene cleaner today. We very well might. It's 3 p.m. there. Yeah, it is. What time is it here? 9:30? Yeah, it's 9:30 where I live. Of U.S. Central Time. And I have to, I have a confession. I'm a coffee snob. It's 4 p.m. where you are? Yeah, you're Central Europe, right? So I'm a complete coffee snob, and it's embarrassing. But in favor to me, I used to live in Seattle for a long time, and nothing will turn you into a coffee snob faster than living in the Pacific Northwest. Like, watches too much YouTube would be able to confirm this. I use a Hario ceramic cone, and I do pretentious pour over. Like it's legitimately embarrassing. Let's see, do I need to go down here? It is legitimately embarrassing. I'm absolutely a coffee snob, and I hate it, but I have to be honest. I order my coffee from. It's a wild Snorgle. You need to catch it. Gotta catch them all. Let's see. Just a little bit more. Okay. I'm just kind of trying to separate myself from that irritated Enderman at the moment. I feel. Oh, I don't have any more. Oh man, I'm stupid. I don't have any more. I don't have any. Do I have any wood on me? I don't. Okay, well, I'm dumb. But there's a couple things I want to do. There's a couple things I want to do today. Snorglemon. I wanna so you have to go back because I'm stupid. I want to take a look at. I want to build a base, but I want the base to be to instead of doing topographic engineering like I have been previously. I want the base to be more to go along with what the existing landscape is. That's what I want the base to be. So that we could work on that a little bit, which I think would be pretty cool because I have some ideas. But then the other thing I thought might be neat is that I think, is this my diamond mine? That's iron. So I think down here somewhere, I think in one of these, thought I put a sign up. Is it not this one? Maybe it's not. Maybe it's the other one. Maybe it's my diamond mine? Oh, my diamond mine. Let's go get some more torches. And one of my mines, there's a mine shaft. There's an abandoned mine shaft. And I thought that it would be pretty cool to check that out because I wouldn't mind finding a spawner that we could turn into an XP farm. I don't think it's my coal. I don't think that... Oh, that's right. That was a rune poured on the water. I I have such a terrible memory. I try to, I want to make sure that on my first mine, I didn't do that and thought I'd remember. I don't know why I thought that. I have the memory of a vole, but I'm trying to put signs so that I know. Cup of coffee here. So, about me being coffee snob, I have to admit it. It's true. I don't think it's a positive thing. It's very negative and doesn't speak highly of me, but I have to be honest. I have to be very honest. So, by the way, I added this recessed lighting, and I really like it. I think it's really cool. I was really pleased with this. I added that, I think, the last live stream. I think the dude should be gone. Yeah, they're gone. Good. Okay, good. They despawned. So, okay, let's look around a little bit and see, because I wouldn't mind, like, maybe making like a walkway that goes down here and down there, kind of up here. You were going to channel rebrand? Nice. That's awesome. That's so much fun. I mentioned it before. I used to have a different channel that I did before the Snorgle channel. So I'm kind of wondering if like we kind of make something that goes like down, over and around, and just kind of goes down there. I'm not sure. Something like that. I still love that Mojang allows these like independent floating blocks. I think it's really interesting. Oh, SCP. Oh, nice. That's pretty cool. I gotta admit, that's pretty cool. So we can do that. We can look at the mine shaft maybe. There's more of these caves that need to be cleared out. Like down here, there's a cave down there that needs to be cleared out. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little intimidated by it because I kind of suck at clearing out caves. Wait till it get approved. I wouldn't. I'm also considering going back to that village over there and making sure that all the villagers are stuck in their homes, because I wouldn't mind making a trading hall. I've never done it before, and I kind of would like to do that. I think that seems pretty cool. I'm really enjoying Amplified Minecraft though, because everything has this extreme deal to it. Like getting around without, say, an elytra is just a thing. Like it's such a pain. And it just makes everything so much harder. I mean, the fact that it took me 8+ hours to get 2 sheep. Hi, Elson and Barney. How's it going? Nice to see you. Thanks for stopping by. I was just explaining, I have to admit that I'm a coffee snob. In all fairness, because I used to live in Seattle. And nothing will turn you into a coffee snob more than living in the Pacific Northwest. There's another dude. I really like the way that speedrunners handle Enderman. They basically dig a hole 1 deep, and then they put a block directly over their head. And they do so fast. It's so cool. I do have, look at this. Check it out. Look at me. Not only do I have full diamond armor, but I've been busy off stream. I got a full stack plus 18 of diamond. How many days have I been in here? Let's see. Wait, I'm gonna F3. 70 days in Minecraft terms. And 50 of those, were without sleeping at night because I couldn't find a sheep. Which still cracks me up to this day. I know what I need to do. I know exactly what I need to do. The sun's starting to go down a little bit, but I really, really, really need some wood very badly. I think, we'll go to sleep though first. We'll get wood in the morning. I'm really pleased at, this is just the third world I've ever created. And, okay, well, we have to wait a little bit. And I'm really pleased at how much faster doing stuff is. Like, I know what I need to do. I know how I need to get there. And by the way, this is 100% because of chat. Like, chat has been so helpful in telling me what I need to do and what priorities are, and I can't thank you enough. Clean your email for over 200 email promotions and social. Oh man, I did that like about 6 weeks ago. I think I had like 800 emails, and most of them were just garbage. And I cleaned it out, and now I'm trying to keep up with it. It's a Herculean task, but once it's done, it's very rewarding. But I'm really pleased. Even things like this, like watches too much. Said, hey, you should automate the process of making compost. It was great. Okay, so I need. I'm going to close this. We don't have gribblers walking in, and of course it's raining. But I need some wood, and I don't have that much wood, but I need some. So let's go ahead and do this. But I really love the way that, like, one of the things I want to do this year is I want to start speedrunning. And I'm not going to do anything like, I'm not going to do, MCSR. I don't care, right? Like I just don't care enough to do it, frankly. And I'm not a competitive person. I don't know if I told this story. In high school, I did pole vaulting. And the only reason I did it is not because I don't like sports. As I probably mentioned this before. I hate sports, in fact. I don't like anything about it. But what the heck? I really do hate sports, but I thought anything that involves wrong one. Anything that involves like strength, coordination, and balance, I'm all in. And geez, look at this, how complicated this tree is. Okay, I think we got it all. Okay. You tried speedrunning a bit? Yeah, I expect myself to be extremely bad. I 100% expect myself to be quite terrible at it, frankly. But that aside, there's some techniques I think that would make me a better player. And I'm actually now super jazzed about let's see, do I have trees somewhere? Where do I have those? Here. Okay. I'm super jazzed now about going to the end and trying to kill the Ender Dragon. Because I was thinking about this, you know? And I was thinking about, you know, and but anybody who doesn't know, I don't like dragons. I never have, even since I'm a little kid. I'm not afraid of them. I just don't like them. Okay? I want to be really clear about this because there's rumors going around that people have spread rumors, Demian, that I'm afraid of dragons, and I'm not. I just don't want anything to do with them. But if we think in terms of Minecraft, right? Minecraft goes against a lot of stuff that I don't particularly like. I don't like crafting games. I don't like games you have to mine and craft in general. I just don't. Like, and is that, there's another, yeah, there's more in there. Okay. So, but I really like the way that Minecraft does stuff. Like, and I feel like having looked at and consumed, you know, just this last year is the only time I've really consumed Minecraft on YouTube. I just wasn't that much into it. But it seems to me like there's the game that I'm in right now, which is there's the game where it's before the end, and there's the game where it's after the end. And I think that those are very different experiences. When you have an elytra and you know, shulker boxes and suddenly you don't have to worry about inventory space, really. You don't have to worry about, you can travel vast distances really easily. You know, you set up how am I going to get up here? You set up like okay, that's not Pete's sake. Set up like a set up a farm to make fireworks, and it's just a radically different game than before you go to the end. And so this is something I want to experience, and I think that it's I suspect that it's changes the game so much, which is one of the reasons why you see a lot of people, their goal, the starting goal, is just you get to the end, you kill the Ender Dragon, you get an elytra, you get shulker boxes, and then the game starts. And my experience is all before that, right? Like my entire experience with Minecraft has nothing to do with going to the end. And, you know, I think that speedrunning can help me do that, I think. I can't see myself, I'll be honest, I can't see myself, I think that with some practice, I could do a 1 cycle to kill the dragon, right? I think I could do that. I feel relatively confident about that. The 0 cycle, I still don't understand. I legit don't understand it. I just don't get it. Okay. So we're going to put one here. Here's an apple. Thank you. Okay. Okay, that we got that. Good. Let's get some more. Some more. We are woefully inadequate. Wait, I want to put. This is wrong. In that place. I'm trying to put. I'm putting a little torch by every single one so that a gribbler doesn't spawn underneath them, because that was a huge problem for me. So that's my view. I've given this a lot of thought actually about going to the end and fighting the dragon, because I really hate dragons and I really don't like dealing with them. But there's a lot of Minecraft that I would say this is my standard. I don't like it. You think one cycles are pretty easy? Yeah, that's the thing. Not just fast, but I don't quite understand how they know which tower to go to and how high up to build. Like, I don't understand it. I feel like it uses math. And that math is not my strong point. I'm like, there's a reason why I'm a formally trained musician and not a scientist. You know? Okay. Like, I watch people do I watch how Feinberg, as local tortilla, does the triangulation without the extra tools. And he's not doing that as much anymore, but I think that Ludwig, who's been practicing Minecraft, they sort of have a bromance going on there. Ludwig and Feinberg. I think he does the triangulation, and I think it's interesting. I don't understand it. Yeah, I'm a formally trained musician. I used to be a professional. I have a degree in performance with a minor in composition. I used to professionally perform and do arrangements for orchestras and chamber orchestras and big bands, things like that. Yep. Occasionally I tell stories from the times when I was a musician. Occasionally. You were watching a popular Geometry Dash streamer? One, he got bored of the game and just booted up Minecraft SR. I did what? What did Zero Cycle? Wow, that's why did I do this? Oh, okay, this is a really good conversation. Because, so, when I was like 4, and my dad used to take me to things when I was a little kid to see what I'd be interested in. And God, I miss my dad so much. He passed away when I was quite young. But he used to, I don't know why he did it, because he didn't do it with my other siblings, but he did it with me. And he would take me around to things. We'd go to like the Buddhist temple, watch him do that sand art, and he'd take me to sports ball games, and so he used to take me to that. And when I was 4, he took me to see a really popular, famous jazz performer. And at 4 years old, I was like, I want to do that. I want to play piano. I want to do that. That's what I want to do. I know what I want to do with my life. And from that point on, that's all I wanted to do. My parents, we grew up. We actually were actually quite poor, and so every once in a while, if it was a big deal, like my dad would get a bonus or something, and they'd go to the movies. And I remember just begging my parents when I was really young, maybe 8 or 9, just let me stay home. I won't leave. I won't do things. All I want to do is practice piano with no one else around. That's all I want to do. I'll then do it for 3 or 4 hours. That's all I want to do with my entire life. For most of my life, actually, I knew what I wanted to do from such a young age. It's very strange. And so then I took piano lessons and performed. And then I went to university and got my degree, which I'm very proud of, because let me tell you, getting a degree in my degree is in jazz performance with an emphasis in composition. And the thing about getting a degree in jazz is you have to do everything all the classical people do plus all the jazz stuff. So you learn how to compose for orchestras and how to read orchestral scores and how to you learn all that stuff. And so about halfway through university, because university here where I live, you have to pay for it. It costs. I went to a public university, so it wasn't that expensive. But I got some Snorgle backstory here for the people who are here. I went to university. About halfway through, I was good enough that I was performing on a regular basis, so I was able to support myself, pay my rent, and support myself, and pay for university. About halfway through, which was great. But when I became a professional musician, that's what I did for my life. I would do performances, and I would teach private lessons, and I would get commissioned to do some arrangements for orchestral stuff. There's also a thing called copy editing, which is like if a copyist takes something from a composer and makes all the orchestral scores, like all the pieces for the orchestra, right? So I would do a lot of copy editing, and sometimes you can do a computer, sometimes you have to do it by hand. It depends on what the composer wants. Some composers are very exacting; they want it very old school, and they want it all by hand. And so I'm one of the few people that can still do that. Not many people my age can do it by hand, and there's a reason for that. And I don't want to get into it, but it's a lost skill. And so I get a decent amount of stuff doing copy editing, where I would write out all the orchestral stuff. They give me their score with chicken scratch, and I'd make it look super nice so everybody in the orchestra could read it. That was one of the things I did. But the thing about it is, but I lived. But that was all. All those other things like that and teaching lessons were secondary to performing. Like for me, all I wanted to do was play piano, and then later drums. I played drums as well sometimes, but mainly piano. And I realized I had a long-term gig at like a really nice, expensive steakhouse, and I made pretty good money. And again, as a musician, pretty good money is like a few $100s for 4 hours work a night 5 times a week. That's like you're flush if you're making that as a performer. So you're not making bank as a jazz musician. I'm just saying, I'm just playing like this casual stuff where you just kind of background music. And this is a really nice restaurant. And I remember there was one point when I realized that I anytime that they would not pay me in cash, you always want to get paid in cash, and not for tax reasons, and this is what I'll tell you. And it's something I hadn't really thought about before, but I just thought I had a teller when they gave me the check. They had paid me it's a check, not cash. This restaurant. But again, this is a restaurant that was doing extremely well. And I went to the bank. I didn't deposit it in my account. I went to the bank that it was drawn on. And every once in a while they do that. I would do that. And I kind of knew that would happen maybe once a month. Maybe they'd pay me not in cash, in a check. And I got to know the teller at the bank, and she was like, "Why do you come here and cash this? Why don't you put it into your own account?" And I was like, it's just, as a musician, it's just the thing you do. You go and cash it from the bank. But then I started thinking about it. I was like, oh my gosh. The reason I do that is because, and I didn't even thought about it. I just instinctively did it because literally 75% of the time, the check will bounce. If you get paid in a check as a musician, 75% of the time, the check will bounce. And I know for a fact that restaurants have 2 bank accounts. One where they screw musicians over or screw other people over, and other ones for like Cisco, where they're supplying your food and your stuff, and that's where those checks aren't going to bounce. And that's when I realized, like, record labels, clubs, restaurants, every single place as a performing musician is just out to screw the musician over as much as they can. And by the way, the same thing applies to Spotify. It's incredibly inconvenient for me, but I do not subscribe to or listen to Spotify. Hey, there's a spider down there, at all, because musicians are getting a complete hose job with the amount of money they're making. Like pre-Spotify, I know some musicians who would have a little bit of success, not like Taylor Swift, but they'd get a song that would get some radio airplay, and they could make a living on that, and they wouldn't have to play all the time. Those days are gone with streaming, because musicians are getting like 1/10 of 1 cent for every stream. So at that point, I was like, oh, I can't do this anymore. Like this thing I loved and I devoted my entire life to, the business side of it is just a scam. It's all set up to just screw me over. And unless I'm incredibly lucky, I'm not going to win. Like, and I can still play music and everything, but I wanted to, my whole thing was I wanted to be a professional musician. There's a difference between playing music and liking it and being a professional. Well, like when I used to wake up, when I was a professional musician, let me tell you how my day would go when I wake up. So I'd wake up in the morning. And typically, like if you have a gig, when I was working as a musician, I would work probably 5 or 6 nights a week in general. And so, if you're working at a restaurant, you work from like probably 8 to 12 and you do 4 sets of 45 minutes with a 15-minute break. That's pretty common. And, maybe sometimes you might get a free pitcher of beer or maybe some food, something like that. That's not super common, but that's not uncommon, And then you get home at 1:30 in the morning and your mind is racing from having just performed for, how many hours. And so it takes a couple hours to wind down, right? So you end up watching TV early in the morning and then you wind down and maybe you go to sleep at like 3 and then you wake up maybe at 11. Like that's 11 or 12. That's super common. I would say that's a very common thing for musicians. And so I just remember when this teller had said to me, why don't you deposit into your account? And I realized that it just hit me that I can't do this anymore. I'm getting taken advantage of. There's this thing that I love and I'm just being treated like literally like a prostitute. And I hate it. There's this thing that there's this thing that to me is the most amazing, precious thing in the entire world. And I'm just being taken advantage of, and there's no way to get around it. And so I quit. I quit and I quit and chose another creative profession. It does, but it's one of those things where nobody can take it away from me. I'm super proud of what I did and what I accomplished, and I'm really proud that I decided to get out when I decided to get out, because I make decent money now, and I do something that I really like. My profession is something I really like. I don't make enough money to live on with YouTube. I'd love to do it. That'd be really cool, but that's not the case at the moment, obviously. But I wouldn't trade that for anything in the world, because there's a couple that really taught me, being a professional musician taught me a number of things. And it's so interesting to me because I know some people who were really good musicians in high school. And one of the things I learned from teaching private lessons is people who have the most raw talent, 90% of the times, are the ones that end up not very good musicians. And the reason for that is because everything comes naturally for them. Hi, Danny, how's it going? You missed a huge lore dump. The Snorgle lore dump. I'm talking about when I used to be a professional musician. But like for me, it always came, like playing piano always came really naturally for me, like really, really naturally. And I loved doing it. But like, so a day for me when I was a professional musician was I'd wake up about 11 and get some coffee. My chef's down here. Okay, good. And get some coffee. And there's always a VOD, Danny. And I'd get some coffee and I'd have some breakfast. And then maybe about a half an hour after I got up, I would sit down and I'd practice for at least 4 hours. And a lot of it is just chops, right? When you're at that level as a professional musician, you have to keep your chops up. And it's a kinetic muscle thing, right? You have to keep the chops up. So you have to practice. And a lot of times a lot of people will, like guitar players, I know, very commonly watch daytime TV and practice their chops, right? It's just something that you just do to you got to keep the muscles going. You got to keep that kinetic memory going. 2, 3, 4, 5. So I practiced for 3 or 4 hours, and then I would teach some private lessons in the afternoons. If I had some copy work, if I had some composition stuff I was working on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I had some composition stuff I needed to do or some copy work, then I'd do some of that in the afternoon. And then in the evenings, then I would have I would get ready for my gig. And at this for a long time, it really was casuals. It was stuff where I would just, I just background music in nice restaurants. You know, that's really common. I for a while, I was making bank for a while, because I decided to play drums because it was a little bit more marketable. Because there's a lot of great piano players, you know, but there's very, 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 very few, even in jazz, there's very few drummers who are also musicians. And I mean that, who understand, like when somebody's soloing, where they're going with the solo from a music standpoint and how you support that. And so for a while, I made my living as a sub. And that is that the word got out a little bit that you know, Snorgle can if something happens and their drummer, you know, gets arrested or whatever, like because it's a let's be clear here, like being a professional musician is not, it can be sleazy. there's a lot of sleazy people involved in it. Let's just be clear. It will open your eyes. but they would call me and fly me out to the gig because I could do the gig and play with them without any practice. Because I knew, like, if they were original songs, you know, you got the bass player can give you a hoarse eye every once in a while, telling you something coming up, and I was enough of a musician that I could just do it without any practice, and that got out. And so I made pretty good bank doing that. That was fun. I enjoyed that. But when I realized that the entire industry was out just to screw me over and I mean this, and I don't say this lightly, that the entire industry, unless you're Justin Bieber or Taylor Swift, the entire industry is set up to just prostitute you and just take advantage of you and to just suck everything they can out of you from a financial standpoint. They try to screw you over, which is why, by the way, for example, you look at 1950s and 60s, very common for labels to want to get their musicians that were signed with them addicted to heroin, because then they were easier to manipulate. Great industry, huh? Really nice. So anyway, that's why I don't do it anymore. Is that, and now I do something else. I work in a creative industry, but I just feel much better about everything, and it's sad to me because it's something that I devoted most of my life to, but it just is what it is. Sometimes it really is the journey, and if you don't get to the destination, or you get to the destination and it's not what you thought it was, then that's just life, you know. And what you do with that is, whether it's positive or negative, is up to you. yeah, Gabe, it is. Yeah, very much so. But it's a good lesson, you know, in that you don't have control over things in life, and it's like, okay, so I put it this way: when you're improvising as a jazz musician, right? If you make a mistake, and everybody makes mistakes, right? Everybody, even the best musicians, will hit a clam. They'll hit a wrong note. And if you're a good enough musician, whether that note works or not, any note, whether that works or not, is 100% dependent on your understanding what led you up to accidentally hitting that wrong note and justifying it by what follows. Right? That's I don't like that. That's lava. That's scary. I think so. I mean, I consider myself, they could have gone worse if I stayed on that path. I mean, to a degree, I think that's true. I'm not sure it's worse as much as just for my own self. You know, it's this thing that I genuinely felt like was the most beautiful thing that humanity's ever done, music. And it's something that, when you look at the business side of it, everything is set to just take advantage of you. And there's this marvelous, wonderful thing that humans have been doing since prehistory. So there's got to be something about it, right? And, you know, I can't be involved in that. I'm not going to let myself being taken advantage of. And just one block guarding you. Yeah, and so it's, you know, but again, it's just, diamonds. It's one of those things that I think is really interesting because it's all perspective, right? it's you can't control things, and so sometimes there's things that are beyond your control, and that's just the way it is. And so, but what you can control is how you react to those things, and that's I think that getting back to why I wouldn't judge it, being a professional musician has taught me a lot of things. First of all, I don't have a fear of performing, right, at all. I don't have a fear of performing. I don't have a fear of listening to my own voice. I don't have a fear of editing myself. When I had my old channel, I used to do more face cam stuff, and I have no problem with that. A lot of people have a real problem with it. I don't have any of that. But the other thing too is, like, I hear so many people I went to high school with who had a lot of natural talent. And I was like, oh, I have to wait for inspiration. Buddy, when you're a professional, you can't wait for inspiration. If I had a commission, right? So sometimes you get a commission for something, some local thing or something. They want a song, and they want something for a small orchestra or something like that, like a chamber orchestra or something. You can't wait for to be inspired. You have to create that inspiration. That's one of the things they teach you, is you have to create inspiration. You have to inspire yourself, because you have deadlines. Like, nobody's going to wait for you to get inspired. Like, you have deadlines. You have hard things you need to meet because you're contractually obligated. And so you learn to do that yourself. And that's one thing that I think that has been, when I learned how to apply that to everyday life. One of the things, here's another thing too. So like when you get to be a formally trained musician, you learn how to read orchestral scores. And there's a if you're unfamiliar with it, just look up like what an orchestral score looks like, and it can look overwhelming, right? Because you have there could be roughly, not exactly depending on the orchestra, there can be roughly 100 individual players. And some of them are playing the same thing, but then a lot of them are not. And so you have to learn how to, have the coffee here. You have to learn how to look at the overall structure of it. So the orchestra as a whole and what's happening with that. You have to look at what are the different sections doing? What are the violins doing? What are the woodwinds doing? What is the brass doing? Right? And then you have to also be able to look at what's break it down a little more, the subgroups. What are the first violins doing versus the second violins? What are the cellos doing? What's the double bass doing? Right? And be able to understand that and how it's contributing to the overall music. And then after that, you then have to look at even the individual instruments and what's each individual doing. Right? So one of the things, if you're conducting an orchestra, right? And sometimes they make you conduct if you did the thing, which sucks, because I was terrible at conducting. I hated it. But one of the things that orchestras will regularly do is someone in the middle of second violin. Hi, Twisted, how's it going? You're getting a massive dump of Snorgle lore. There's a really big dump of Snorgle lore, stuff I haven't talked about ever before. But one of the things you do is when you're conducting an orchestra, they make you do it, is they'll have like some violin, some second violin in the middle of it, play a wrong note, but one that's not one that fits in with the harmony, to see if you can hear it. It's a test. It's stupid. And it would piss me off every single time. And I wouldn't play their game. I wouldn't play their game. They do it, and I was like, we're taking 15 minutes. And they do it again, and I was like, we're taking 15 minutes. Until they finally got it. I was like, I'm not going to play this game. But being able to inspire myself from a creative standpoint has been, but even the orchestral score thing. So one of the things that taught me was when I realized, and you learn the system of doing it, right? There's a very pedagogic way they teach you how to do this. Here's how you do it, because we've been doing this for hundreds of years, and here's what works. And so, as a consequence, one of the things I'm really good at doing is when I realized there was some point when I realized that I can apply this exact technique to other things in life besides music. And it allows me to look at really, really, really complicated things and immediately understand the structure of it and how it's working. It's one of the reasons why there's a very common thing in tech that musicians make. Oh, hold on. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot to mute Discord. Let me just do that quickly. Okay. One of the things that is very common is people who used to be professional musicians make really, really, really good coders because they understand it. No, don't worry about it. It's not you, Twisted. It's me. I should have muted, and I started this early in the morning. I'm only on my second cup of coffee, so my brain isn't in full speed yet, but a massive dump of Snorgle lore here. You can go back and listen to it, to the VOD. Stuff I've never talked about before. Very personal stuff, in fact. But understanding how an orchestra score works has greatly helped me in my current profession. I don't really talk about on the air what it is, but if you want to DM me, I'll talk about it. I think Demian asked me once, and I mentioned it in the Discord, and then I redacted it because I don't want it living there forever. In my previous channel, I was not good at not self-doxing myself because I'm a moron. Anyway, that's a little Snorgle lore. How I at the age of 4, I immediately knew what my life calling was, and that didn't change until you learn that people suck. But I'm very happy with my current profession. I'm good at what I do, and the people I work with are great, and I'm producing good work. So I'm very pleased with it. I do miss, I'm not gonna lie, I do miss not being a professional musician. I really like that lifestyle, but it's a very difficult lifestyle. You know, here's the thing that's interesting. Most musicians I know, professional, have been divorced many times. And part of that is because, I think not insignificant, is because you never, ever, ever have a holiday off. Like, if there's a holiday, you're working. You know? You just are. You like on New Year's Eve, for example. Never celebrated New Year's Eve when I was a professional musician, because I would make more on New Year's Eve than I would probably the preceding 3 months put together. Like, that's how much you get paid. It's a huge amount. But most musicians I know have been divorced multiple times, and here's why. I think I don't think it's necessarily infidelity, although that can certainly be the case. I think that it's holidays. You never get a holiday off, ever. Like, and it just weighs on people. Like, you don't get Christmas off. You don't get, if you're Jewish, you wouldn't get Hanukkah off. You don't get Thanksgiving off. You just don't. Like, you don't get anything off. And it just weighs on people. The one profession, this is really fascinating to me, the one profession that seems to consistently work with professional musicians as a spouse is nurse. Because it's exactly the same. They never, ever, ever get holidays off. Which I think is really fascinating. I think I said in one of my videos that if someone would go through and watch all your content, they'd be able to tell. Yes, I think that is 100% correct. I will say this again. If somebody watched all my videos, I guarantee you that they would know. I've talked to some people. In fact, some of the people I would know. You would know what city I grew up in, and I'll tell you this: I grew up in a large city. I guarantee you that everybody's heard of it. You would know where I went to university. You would know roughly the part of the U.S. You would know what state I live in and roughly what part of the state I live in. You would probably know not where I work, but what I do for a living. If you went through and watched all my videos, 100%, you would be able to know a lot about me. I'm kind of tempted, honestly, and I'm not gonna change that, because none of it is how do I say this? You wouldn't. I think it still would be difficult to locate me and identify me as an individual. With so much content, makes sense. Yeah, it does. Yeah, but also like having started out, I was a little bit less. how do I say that? I was a little bit less careful about that. Now I'm more careful. I don't really say what my role is. I don't say what type of job that I have. I don't really do that anymore. But I did. You would 100% know the city I grew up in, where I went to university. Probably I have moved around a lot as an adult, and I would think that you probably would know 80 to 90% of the cities that I've lived in. I think I've moved. Let me think about this. Let me think how many times I've moved. The city I grew up in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So just for this is as an adult, because I grew up in a city and I lived there till high school, and then I left for university. So there's a city I grew up in, and then 1, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I've moved 12 times as an adult. 13 times as an adult. And that is not including the many, many years I spent as a nomad, which probably adds over 20 locations to that if we include that. I don't think it's fair to include that, because I think living in some place for 3 months and moving on. But no, as an adult, I've moved 12 times. If someone knows where I live and what I do, so here's the thing, you would think that, Danny, except I am fully remote. Where I live is not where the company I work for is headquartered. Number 1. Number 2, my LinkedIn is like super. Even if you find out my name, my LinkedIn is super out of date. So you wouldn't be able to identify me with that. Plus, I think it's pretty locked down, actually. But also, where I work, but again, I mentioned this before. If somebody's clever, right? If somebody's clever, I've mentioned a couple of things before. Like I mentioned that. I mentioned this too, because I mentioned this before when I had like 2 weeks off at the end of Christmas. I mentioned that I work in an industry here in the U.S. that is heavily regulated, and in fact, the amount of vacation I take and how I take it is regulated. That could be a big clue to the vertical industry that I work in. Interesting. Intriguing, one might even say. But it's a weird industry, and I don't think that anyone would guess it in a million years. Just saying, like, no one would guess it ever. But that's one of the things I like about being fully remote. It's so funny. I was. Do I have andesite? I don't. I have tough. There's this new person who came to work, and I don't really have an enormous amount to do with her, but she lives in the same city as me. Work in Area 51. I wish. She lives in the same city as me, and a couple other remote people. And she was like, "Oh, we should get together." And I was like, "Meh." I've mentioned this before. I'm a hermit. Like, I legitimately am a hermit. I'm a homebody if I want to be kind to myself, right? But I'm a hermit. Like what I do is YouTube, right? I don't watch TV. I don't own a TV. I don't go to movies. I just. Your brain's still processing all the lore, and it's stuck loading. I like picture the cat with the little loading thing. But I work in an industry that is heavily regulated, and so you can figure it out. It wouldn't. I think it would be. I don't think people would figure it out though. Oh, sorry. So this person was like copped an attitude with me a little bit when I was like, I don't want to get coffee, and have lunch with you. And I just flat out explained to him, my contract specifically says that I'm never, ever, ever required to, number 1, go into any office of any kind, or number 2, meet anybody personally. Because this is not my first rodeo. seems like a fun hobby. Yeah, it's so I had a channel before this one, and I did it for a year, and I would produce a video every week. Go get yourself a coffee. I'm working on finishing the second one, and then I might take a slight break and get myself another cup of coffee. That's an excellent idea. We will do that. Okay, so but probably we've been going about 55 minutes. I think about 4 minutes till I finish this cup of coffee, then I will get another cup very quickly. That's an excellent idea. So the other channel I had, it's gone. I nuked it. You can look all you want, you'll never find it. It's not the Snorgle name. It's a completely different brand. Lost to time, and all the videos are down anyway. You have the job cybersecurity in your head. It's not bad. So after I stopped being a musician, I taught myself how to code, and for a while, I designed and developed games. Daddy, you get a gold. You get like a let me try to think. Look at like a gold trophy, because that is exactly right. It was a cooking channel. I had a cooking channel, and I would to give some. I'll tell you what the focus of it was. And again, I'm not scared about it because it's nuked and you'll never find it ever because it's gone. But my bestie hates cooking. Absolutely hates cooking with a passion. And if she will not do it at all, ever, unless it's as easy as grabbing something out of the freezer and throwing it in the microwave. If it's significantly more than that, she's not going to do it, which is fine, right? Her wife is a great cook and cooks for her all the time. But so my whole thing with the channel was, can I do something? Can I come up with new recipes that are super, super easy so that someone like my bestie could make, right? Could they make that? And it would be easy for her to make it. And so that was the whole focus of the channel. I'm watching too much. How's it going? You missed. I will say this every comes in. I'm not doing this to push the VOD, but there was deep Snorgle lore earlier. Like deep. Stuff I have never talked about before. I've talked a little bit about it before, but I've gone significantly more in depth. The deep Snorgle lore in today's so like yeah, there was so just, and things like she ended up like she ended up making stuff. I would make like I would take and I would look. One of the things I really enjoyed doing was taking something like a historic sandwich recipe from Venezuela or something, or Costa Rica, and tweaking it and making it interesting and different, but then also making it really, really easy. You're in cooking class? That's fantastic. I think that everybody should at least have some basic cooking skills. I 100% believe that. It will make your life so much easier. And I don't mean that you need to like it, because I don't necessarily think that people do need to like cooking. I enjoy it immensely, but a lot of people don't. And that's why I had the cooking channel like that. But the thing is, here's the thing, is that like my bestie, she's never going to enjoy cooking, ever. Never. But I would create recipes and she would do them because she recognized that it was better than some frozen slop, and it just took a slight bit more effort and she could do it, which is great. But I also think it's really funny because then she also would cajole her wife into just making the recipes for her too, which cracks me up so much. It's so funny. Maybe it inspired random people to cook. I hope so. I absolutely hope I did. I 100% hope I did. But here's the thing. Here's why I stopped doing it. I loved doing the channel, but I stopped doing it for a couple of reasons. One was because, so I produced a video a week. The video was typically around 20 minutes. And that to produce that video took me about, wait, was it this an Enderman? Where's an Enderman? Oh, there it is. Okay, hold on. I'm not gonna anger him. Can I do what the, what if I can do with the, let me see if I can do this. trying to think. He's going to be gone by the time I finish this. But here's what I've seen here's what I've seen the speedrunners do. And I think he's going to be gone. He's gone. This happens every time. I'm so slow. Anyway, but so it would take me. Cooking seems like a chore, right? Exactly, but that was my point, right? Is that my bestie felt the exact same way, but I came up with things that were I purposely tried to come up with things that were tasty and delicious, but super easy to do, even if you hated cooking. But to produce one 20-minute video, I had to create the recipe, I had to think of the talking points I want to talk about in the order that I talked about. I'd have to record the intro and the outro. I'd have to make a dish and keep it there, and then I'd have to film myself making the dish, and then I'd have to edit it and upload it. And so each video took me about 60 hours. Beyond that, and again, keep in mind, I have a day job too. Like it took me 60 hours for every single video to produce it. And I just couldn't keep it up. Yeah, exactly. Yep. And so like when people look at like YouTubers who produce once a week, and I was thinking someone like Drew Gooden, he's spending a long time making those videos. It's a people. It's so funny. I think people look at YouTube, and who was it? I think it was on Casey Neistat's channel. Somebody famous, a famous actor, said they started a YouTube channel and like, you guys work way too hard. like it just took forever for me to make it, and so I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't keep it up. And so when I started the gaming channel, I was like, I want to start a gaming channel because the content that I still consume is like, I've mentioned this before, like I think I've mentioned to Dimian, who seems blown away. I don't own a TV. I don't watch TV. I don't subscribe to any streaming channels. Is that a pig? I could use a pig. I don't go to movies. Like I watch YouTube and where's the cribbler sounds coming from? I see a cave down here. Anyway, I watch YouTube, and so I wanted to. You bought an air fryer? Oh, 100%. They make everything so much easier. That's watches too much. Absolutely. But I watch YouTube, and I was to a much less degree Twitch, but I mainly watch YouTube, and I wanted to get back to the community that I consume from. And that's why I started the food channel. That's why I started the gaming channel. And so when I started the gaming channel, you remember seeing the crime scene at the pizzeria? I know, right? It's when I started my gaming channel, I did a ton of research into it, having done it before, because I was like, I can't spend 60 hours a week for a single video. Like, so what do I do? Well, so when you have the 60 hours a week for a single video, right? Like, I mean, my videos don't get that much, but let's say that I'm wanting to get, let's say that video gets 70 views, let's just say. Let's say 700 to make it seem like my channel isn't as pathetic as it is. Let's say that it's 700 views, right? And I need to get 700 views to make that work. If you're a bigger thing channel, that might be 700,000 views, right? But I produce 7 videos a week plus 2 bonus videos. If I figure out a way to make it easier to produce daily videos, then my videos don't need to get 700,000 views. Each video can only get a seventh of that. Each video can only needs to get 100,000 views to get the same level of viewership. And so then I thought, well, how do I do this? And so I went and I researched into channels that produce daily videos, right? At Casey Neistat, Rhett and Link, Good Mythical Morning. And Rhett and Link with Good Mythical Morning said something that really struck out to me. They asked how they were able to produce videos 5 days a week for 12 years. And they said, as much as we possibly can, we try to view it like a live performance, like a live stream. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. That completely makes sense. So that it severely cuts down on the editing time. That makes a lot of sense. They don't really do anything scripted. They may have talking points they want to hit, but nothing is fully scripted. And so that's what's like, okay, so that's what I need to do. That's 100% what I need to do is that. I need to make it like, which is why I have a very light hand on editing for most of my videos. I'm changing it up with Minecraft, and I'm still struggling with it. That's why a Minecraft Let's Play hasn't come out, but it will at some point. Don't worry, it will. But that's why a Minecraft Let's Play hasn't come out, because I'm just struggling a little bit with how to do that and how to pull that off. But I'll get there. I'll get there. So I try to make things as easy as possible for the live stream, so that I can edit it as little as possible, right? So my videos are edited as little as possible. I choose games that make sense to me to do. So, for example, most of the games I play some games that are longer. We have ongoing Stardew Valley. We have ongoing Minecraft. There's some other games that I play that are longer games, and you can get hundreds of hours in, to be sure. But most of the games I play are very short games, even by indie standards, right? Most of the games are extremely short. They're a couple hours. And so every time I record a Let's Play, I try to make it seem like a live stream. And so that it's as little editing as possible. And then I've also figured out that there are types of games that work well for this thing. So I get out of this a little bit, but like straight puzzle games, I do every once in a while, but those in general require a lot more editing. Because like, if you go into a puzzle, let's say, it's a strict puzzle game, right? And you go into it, you may do the same puzzle 10 or 11 times until you finally figure it out. And that's the way they're supposed to be, right? That's 100% the way they're supposed to be. That's what a puzzle game is. But that doesn't make for a compelling video. Being that freezing? You like to watch it? Yeah, I know, right? It's we'll talk about that in a second, because Watch Too Much Endymion, we were on a live stream, and they brought up something too, so we're going to talk about that. But so one of the things I do with the daily videos, because they need to be, there's a sweet spot for daily videos, or at least there used to be. I don't know if there still is, but there used to be a sweet spot for daily videos, which is they're shorter. So like in the 12 to 20 minute range. I'm going a little bit beyond that. But there's currently a puzzle game I play. There is a puzzle game I'm playing. You're absolutely right. We'll talk about that in a second too, because that's a little bit of an exception. But so so typically what I try to do, that if I play that 10 times, right, the way the editing is, and this, I enjoy puzzle games. They don't get, so the way I try to do that from an editing standpoint is I'll go into, I'll edit it, but I will do it in the form of like I think I want to do this. I will go through and I'll take those 10 times, and I'll go the first time where I just, that was stupid. I made a mistake. Oh, I regret it deeply. There. So I will go through and I will show the first time that I play it when I'm just figuring it out, right? And then I'll show, that's better. I like that. And then I will show then I'll cut out 3 or 4 times when I'm just going through and doing it, right? And then I will go back and I will show someplace where I figure it out, right? So I try to take the narrative of those 10 tries at solving the puzzle and turn it into maybe 3 tries or 4 tries. And that makes it significantly more engaging for a video. That's how I handle editing with the puzzles. And my other rule with puzzles, look at this tree. That's so cool. Oh my gosh. That is so cool. Anyway, the other thing I try to do is oh, was that an Enderman? No, it was a tree. So the other thing I try to do is when I do edits, as much as possible, I try to hide the edit. And sometimes that's possible, sometimes it's not. But so in the case of puzzle games, for example, they typically, you try a puzzle, you screw it up, and then it restarts, right? It goes back to the previous checkpoint. That's a case where it makes it really easy, because then you can just cut it out, and when it transitions back to the checkpoint, you can just do an edit, and it's a smooth edit, and nobody tells you. You just cut out 3 tries. 5 minutes and 3 tries. You just cut out 5 minutes out of the video. This is like a podcast. Yeah, it is kind of. Yeah, it is. It is just a little, just a little chat. But that's some of the backstory behind how I do. So some games work really well for this, and so previous to playing this, I play a lot of cozy games because the other thing I thought of too was when I started this channel was I wanted a distinct brand, and so one of the things in my old channel that people commented on is they liked my voice. They liked my voice, and I appreciate that, and so I leaned heavily into that, and I looked into other channels where I really like the voices. And there's a couple of channels. I think Big Clive, who he's not gaming or anything like that. He mainly does electronic teardown, but he's Scottish, and he has a really nice voice. And he talked about how at least 30%, look at these recessed lights, I love them so much. At least 30% of the people who listen to his channel don't care about what he's talking about. They like his voice, and they turn it on in the background so they can have some company. And I heard a number of people who have really nice voices say that about their channels. And I was like, okay, I'm going to lean into that, right? We're going to lean into that from a branding standpoint, because I want, how do I say this? I want somebody to look at one of my videos and say, that's Snorgle. Immediately recognize that it's a Snorgle video. And 90% of that is going to be because of my voice. And so that's what I lean into on that. You think my voice is relaxing? Yeah, a lot of people have said that. Yeah. In fact, this is so humbling to me. There's another channel, and a friend of mine has a podcast, and they have a Discord for that podcast, and somebody was talking about how they listen to my Let's Plays on the way home every single day from work, because when they're driving home, because it prevents them from getting road rage. And that's so humbling to me. Like that's just so, I've become a part of somebody's life and a really positive influence on them in a way that's meaningful to them. Oh, doggone it, Danny. I 100% meant to delay that, and I got discombobulated and completely forgot. I'm so stupid, because then it drastically interferes with the views on the daily video. Doggone it. I was going to put it back 4 hours. I'm so stupid. Do I think there's a viewer from the cooking channel that came over here? No. Okay, no, that's not true. There's one, but it's because it's somebody I know in real life. I'm almost positive that's the only thing. Now, if someone did come over from the cooking channel, I think that they would know my voice, because how I did it. So I would talk naturally, normally, you'd see my face, but the reason the sort of Snorgle, the leaning into the voice thing is that when I was preparing food, I would do a voiceover, right? So I'd prepare food, and so I'd have the mic recording. I would have the mic recording the sound of me preparing food, the sound of the knife chopping things, and things simmering and whatever. Like I would record those sounds, but then I would afterwards I would edit the video, and then I would do voiceover, like they do for nature documentaries and stuff, except for cooking, explain what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, and that's what I would do with the voiceover. And people commented that they really liked that voice that I would do for the voiceover. So that turned into what is now sort of the vibe of this channel. And in all fairness, it's who I am, right? I'm not an actor. I'm not a voice actor. I'm not performing. Jacksepticeye said this once, and he said that who he is on his channel is who he is as a person. And granted, he's different in real life because he's not performing. And when he's doing his videos, he's performing, but it's who he is. And I think that that's the case with me. Like I'm genuinely who I am, but also there's a very specific vibe with the channel that I go for. It's part of the brand, right? So, like when I first did this, when I was still doing the other channel, I did about a year. There's a year of videos I did, live streams I did on this channel, as I was learning how to do a Let's Play. And I think it was Mucky Mon said, I need more coffee. So I'm going to take like 30 seconds. I'm going to run out. I'm going to grab some coffee. I think I have some iced coffee. It's kind of warm today. So give me like 30 seconds. I'll be right back. I'm back with coffee, iced coffee this time. There was, if anybody lives near a Costco and they have Kirkland brand iced coffee, it's really good cold. So I tried to, when I started the channel, I wanted people to recognize it, but I also wanted a brand. Right? I want a very specific brand. And I think that's another thing I got from doing research is that your channel should have, you need to give it time to work, but your channel also, I feel like there's a very specific types of games I play. So for a year, I live streamed so I could learn how to play a game and talk about things that are not just the game, but things that are interesting, right? You're right back. We'll be here. So there's not a Costco in Israel. I'm always I have to remind myself that there are Costco's worldwide, because I just never think of it that way. I was thinking of it like a US thing, but there are Costco's in Japan and whatever. Like it's just interesting to me. So anyway, Costco has the in-house Costco brand is Kirkland, and they have some cold brew coffee that is that you put in the refrigerator, served cold, not just brewed cold, but served cold. It's so good. It's really good, and it's very reasonably priced. So I highly recommend it if you're a Costco member. So when I played those first things, I would play games that were more in line at the time of the types of games that I would play. And so that's like what I mean by that is I played Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain. You know, I played like a fair number. I played some Call of Duty. Just like a fair number of less cozy games and more games that were a fair number of FPS, because that's most of my experience in general is FPS games. But then when I was doing the Snorgle channel brand, I was like, this doesn't fit. I want games that are cozy games. This is long before cozy games were super popular. And I just started leaning into that a little bit. You know, the first game I played, what I wanted to do was, I might stream Hollow Knight. Yes, it is going to happen. It 100% is going to happen. I don't know if it's going to be a live stream. I might make it a Let's Play, Danny. They are a good company. Watch Us Too Much. They're a Seattle-based company, and they treat their employees right. Like, they're a really good company, and they treat your employees right. And it's one of the things where, like, somebody was talking, some union was trying to come in and unionize Costco, and the employees were like, no, like, you're going to screw it up for us. It was really funny. I am going to do Hollow Knight, but I'm going to do it. there was something that I was watching. Jacksepticeye said he didn't play Silk Song because he played a little bit and he felt like they screwed up what made Hollow Knight special for him. Yeah, so here's what I think. I did say that, but I think that one of the things that Jacksepticeye said, it made me think I'm going to approach playing Hollow Knight a little differently. I'm going to play it. I don't think I'm going to finish it. And here's what I mean by that. I mean that one of the things that Jacksepticeye said he really enjoyed about Hollow Knight was just exploring around and finding all kinds of different crazy things that had nothing to do with beating the bosses. And he said that beating the bosses was not, that was his favorite part, was just going around and exploring and looking at different things and finding different things. And that's the way I'm going to approach playing Hollow Knight. I'm not going to finish it. I can tell you right now, I'm not going to finish it. I'm just going to get into it and play it and explore the world. That's the whole thing with Hollow Knight that I'm going to do. That's how I'm going to approach the whole thing. Silk Song has better gameplay. It's interesting to me though. There were so many people. There's the whole Get Good crowd. Well, people were complaining that it's brutally hard. Like it's really, really hard, and to the point where it wasn't fun. Even people who liked Hollow Knight, and then the response to that quite often was, "Well, Get Good," which is not a. I hate that. I really, really hate that. That I understand that things like there's some games that are supposed to be brutally hard, right? I get it. I understand. So any more we need to get it all done. Okay, I want to make some more gapples. Let's do that. Do I have apples? Yes. Let's make some gapples just in case. Why not fish it? Because, okay, so a couple of things. Because of the way it is, because it's so hard, right? It's gonna be a burden for me from an editing standpoint, because that's where I need to do stuff that's engaging, right? And I want things, and that type of thing where you play the boss, you're expected to play the boss 10 times to beat it, right? That doesn't make engaging content. And it just makes me have to edit a ton. And it kind of screws up my flow. But something, it's a little bit like the live streams where I'm doing FNAF, right? I haven't finished a single FNAF game, and I'm not going to. I understand that people do that, and they whatever. I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to go in and play it, and if I get through a couple of nights, I'm going to call it good and move on to the next game. And I feel like it's the same way with Hollow Knight. Like I'm going to play it, and I'll do some bosses. If it's fine, great. But I just want to explore the world. I want to go into and explore the world. And I think that I'm really glad I saw that Jacksepticeye talk about that, because it opened my eyes to a couple of things, and I thought that was a good thing, right? I need more. I need more of these. And so that's how I'm going to approach it. Right, 5 bosses, but it's not the number of bosses. It's the editing that's going to take me to do the bosses, right? Because like when I look at those types of things, I'm like, okay, maybe each boss takes who knows how long. Yeah, and again, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I will, but my again, it's a hard game, right? And it's supposed to be a hard game. Hi, Kaz, how's it going? I will say this to everybody who drops in. I highly recommend watching the VOD, because there is deep Snorgle lore. There's stuff that I haven't really talked about before. I talked about it a little bit, touched on it, but I got really deep into it. So if you want some Snorgle lore, I highly recommend watching the first hour of the VOD. You're awake late. Oh, that's so nice. Thank you so much. I keep forgetting that you're on the antipodes of me. It is. I'm still drinking coffee. It's morning for me. We're just doing some Minecraft Amplified, which I love this so much. Down under. Yep. I still want to thank Watches Too Much for tuning me into this. This is so cool. So much easier. Let's do some more mining. Oh, I'm going to need another pickaxe here pretty soon. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay. See if we can get some more diamonds. So there. So I'm keeping my options open. But I think that I really do think that I'm sort of leaning towards I'm not planning on finishing it, Hollow Knight. I'm just going to start it. I'm just going to explore some stuff and see where it leads me, and just not be too. I need to play this game and finish it, right? I'm going to just enter it in a. I just want to explore the world and check it out because it's supposed to be cool. That's how I think I'm going to approach it. I talked a little bit about what I did after I was a professional musician. And I think I talked to Dimian about this, as he was asking me how I taught myself to code, because Dimian Dimian went to university for computer science, and he's a developer. Granted, he's a Java developer, which I don't hold against him much. I admit I 100% have a bias against Java. I hate it so much. You're playing Resident Evil 2 remake? I'll have to look. I'll look at the first boss. I don't remember what the first boss is in Resident Evil 2. I played it years and years and years ago. But when I taught myself how to code, I looked at it. I looked at how to code it, and the first thing I taught myself. I'm trying to think what about starting as a let's play and finishing? So here's what I think. I'm trying to do is maybe do some things where I like for Amplified Minecraft. We're not doing this today because we're just having a chat and talking about it. But one of the things I'm trying to do with Amplified Minecraft, for example, is stream me recording it and then releasing a heavily edited version for my channel. Oh yeah. Yep. With a giant eye on his left shoulder. Yep. Oh, scary! You're right, though. You're absolutely right. Scary as heck. So I might do more of that, right? I might do more of, maybe, several hours of the stream, 2 hours or so like that, and edit that down into 2 20-minute videos, maybe. We'll see. Again, I just have to be careful with the amount of time I take. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1 more. I just be careful about the amount of time it takes because I produce 9 videos a week, and so I just need to make sure that I'm able to keep up the cadence, as it were. That's my main concern. So, but like I said, I am planning on playing Hollow Knight. I'm just going to take it very, very casually, very easily, and just not worry about it too much. And the plan is that I'm not going to finish it. I'm just going to play it till I want to and then stop playing it. If I finish it and if I find that it's going to work well and I can, then I will. But I am going to try it. So, and we'll see whether that's a live stream or a let's play. I'm not sure. We'll just have to see. Get Snorgle famous? No kidding. Like let me tell you something. If I started making enough money that I could do this as a full-time job, here's a promise to you. In addition to continue to producing the 9 videos a week, I would do a live stream 5 days a week. I 100% promise it. What about Silksong? I'm not sure. I want to see what the vibe of Hollow Knight is. The thing that concerns me about Silksong is that it is supposed to be brutally hard. And I don't mind that. But, it's a little bit like the Bloodborne series. Those bosses are supposed to be hard and you're supposed to be brutal. And it just is difficult for me to justify that from a time standpoint, because I end up spending, you know, whereas let's say that normally I can do like, trying to think of a good example, on average, okay? When I record a video, okay, let's say Planet of Lana, right? Planet of Lana is a really good idea because I definitely do some edits, and you can, as you pointed out, Danny, you have to look a little carefully that you can see them, right? But I will edit out, I mean, I probably will play 40 minutes and get around 25 to 30 minutes of edited Let's Play. But if I look at something like Silksong, that's probably going to be significantly, my experience is with really hard games, like I said, Bloodborne's another good example, I probably would have an hour and a half of playtime to get that edited down video, because nobody wants to watch you, unless it's a live stream, nobody wants to watch a Let's Play of somebody trying the same boss 15 times till they get it, right? Till they figure it out. And the other thing I feel strongly about too is that, and I've changed this, I made an exception a little bit with Minecraft, but Minecraft is an exception to a lot of things in my world. Where am I going to? People weren't used to the new movement? Yeah, but people also said that they just thought it was too hard. They felt like the skill was too difficult. And even, like I said, even Jacksepticeye mentioned that he played it and he stopped playing it because he's like, this is not why I liked Hollow Knight. He felt like they took the things that were fine, but not the real reason why he played, and leaned into it. And if you're into, like I said, Bloodborne, you're into the boss battles in Bloodborne, great, you're going to love it, right? But, so we'll see, we'll see. I am going to play some of it though, just from hearing Jacksepticeye talk about the thing that he liked doing, I was like, that's what my Let's Play is going to be. My Let's Play is just be going around, checking out these cool things, exploring the world. Because I try to be a little more fair to myself. When I first, for the first 3.5 years of my channel, if I started a game, I finished it. And I'm trying to think, the first game that I didn't finish, I recorded 5 videos in advance. Sekiro? I don't think I'm familiar with that. What's Sekiro? But I think that I just have to be aware that I have a limited amount of time, and so I just want to be very careful with this, because when I started a game, I would play it. There was a game called East something. Oh, I don't remember. You're this anthropomorphic painter, and it's an RPG. And yeah, there's lava directly over me, and I'm not liking this. Stay back a little bit here when they're attacked by lava. So the first game I played, I recorded 5 of them, and I just realized, even edited down, like it's a really cool game to play. I was East something where you're a painter. Anyway, even edited down, it just wasn't engaging. Like so much of the game just walking around and looking at the landscape and exploring it, and it just wasn't engaging game. So that's the first game that I was like, I'm not even going to put it up on the channel. And then every other game, even if I wasn't necessarily enjoying it, I would play. I would finish it because I feel strongly about that, right? I don't want to be like things I was frustrated back in the day with Markiplier and Jacksepticeye is they would. Oh, Souls-like came from From Software. Oh, I mean, I like FromSoft. I think FromSoft does good stuff. But I think that coffee is so good. I think that I just need to be, I just be mindful of that type of thing. So I recorded 5 videos and never released them. I was a couple weeks ahead, so I could do that, and it's fine. I record. For people don't know, I record a little bit ahead of time, not quite as much as 2 weeks, but I generally am a half a week to a week and a half ahead in the videos, depending. So I didn't release that just because they just weren't engaging videos. It's a super fun game. It's a super fun game, but they just didn't make engaging videos. And then the game that I released, and I've talked about this before. It's the first game I didn't play, and it's a game I do not like. This game. It's by the developers who make Goat Simulator. And I talk about this because there's other games that I'm not going to talk about that I really didn't enjoy playing. There's a game by an Israeli developer, and I don't remember who it was. I'm sorry. I wish I could. But they had one that was deeply unsatisfying to me. They had one. The Inscription is coming back, Danny. I need to take a little break from it. The Inscription is coming back. But there was this game, and again, I'm not gonna say who the developers are. I talk about. We'll talk about the Goat Simulator developers. So I talk about them because they found their niche, right? And at the same time that they put out Goat Simulator, they put out this other game, and it's called A Story About My Uncle, and it's an awful game. It's a terrible game. It's a 3D platformer, but they make this fake open world. It's really unclear where you're supposed to go next. It's super easy to get lost, even by my standards. I get lost all the time. I get lost walking a straight line in games, but not in an exceptional way. There's no indication where you need to go at all. It's super confusing. And the checkpointing system is absolute 100% garbage. So they have these things where they're so nitpicky. And this is what I say too, like when I've seen multiple times when I do platformers that what makes or breaks a platformer are the controls. And something like a really good example is Planet of Lana. Planet of Lana, the controls are fantastic. Like, and yes, it's a beautiful game, but they nailed the controls, and it's exact opposite of A Story About My Uncle. Like, A Story About My Uncle is so brutally hard. You have to be so exacting on some things, but the thing is, it's inconsistent, right? So, like, I remember this one thing. I would record 2 hours of gameplay to get a 20-minute video. That's how bad it was. And so part of it was they would string together these 5 super impossible platforming sections. Really, really difficult. And if you didn't, but they wouldn't checkpoint at the different things. So like, if you got it, if you happen to get it, the first one, after you try the first one for half an hour. This is not an over-exaggeration. You're trying the first one for half an hour. You finally get it. You get past the first one. You go to the second one. You miss the second one. It sends you back to the beginning. So you spend an hour and a half trying to get through this thing that should take you 15 minutes. You finally get to the fourth one, and you miss that one because you've never seen it before and you've never done this. They send you all the way back to the beginning. You have to do everything all over again. It's a bad game. It's just a bad game. And again, the reason why I could call the game out and call the developers out is because I don't like to slam developers, right? But they are successful with Goat Simulator. They've found something that they work on. So it's a good example of me saying good for them, you know. But there was a game by an Israeli developer. And one of the things, and overall, I really enjoyed the game, but there was one part of it that if I hadn't had I'm going to finish this game, I would have bailed, because there's this one part where you need to play this like board game in game. The problem is that it was all RNG, and they put you in situations where from the beginning it was obvious that you couldn't win. They didn't use RNG in a way that would allow you to win and come up with wins. And so you just played. I ended up playing this one thing for 45 minutes until finally I just happened to get an RNG that allowed me to win. And I didn't do anything different. There was no learning on my side and changing strategy. It was none of that. And I hate that. Will I play the sequel to Planet of Lana when it comes out later this year? Yes, I will. I'm enjoying Planet of Lana immensely. It's super fun. And that might be one of the games that I'll play when it comes out. I don't do that a lot, but that absolutely could be one of those. There was another game I played. Oh, I'm not going to say what it was. It was near the beginning of my channel, and there's another situation about RNG that I think is interesting. Is they had this section where like you were outside, and it was like oh, I hate this. No, okay. It was an outside section. It was like a maze, right? And you'd walk for a while. And you have this, do you go right or left? You come to this fork in the road and you had to choose one. And typically those types of things are, you figure it out, right? Oh, you go left the first time and it's wrong. Okay, so now you know, you go right on the first one, left on the second one, left on the third one, right on the fourth one, right? You do that. Very common, very, very common. And the problem was, that's not what it was. I soon realized that it was 100% random. Every time you came to a fork in the road, it was just random. And it wasn't fun. And it's that type of thing I have very little patience for. And again, I'm not plan release dates is 2nd of March. Oh, wow. Really? So that's quick. That's not too long from now. I definitely will. I'll tell you this. I will play it when it first comes out. I absolutely will. Maybe not the day it comes out, but I will absolutely play it when it comes out. I'm definitely looking forward to it. 3 weeks, I know, right? Crazy. Yeah, because I'm absolutely planning on doing that. So there's a couple of games that like I'm kind of thinking of going back to. I want to go back to and play. There's a couple of games I want to play. They're in my queue, and I played them initially. I played Anna Dream Barbecue. I enjoyed that immensely, but there's a choice you make when you get different endings. And someone said to me, it's not a spoiler because it's been out for months, but don't choose the taxi cab because you end up cutting off like 30-40% of the story. So I need to go back and replay Anna Dream Barbecue and not choose the cab driver to find out what the other ending is. Because that game is so crazy. It's like if Salvador Dali and Escher had a love child, that's what Anna Dream Barbecue is. Like, it's this crazy, surreal thing. It's so interesting. So, what else is coming up? I'm trying to think what other games are coming up that I want to play. There's one game, I identified it. Shoot, I don't know what it is. There's coming up next week when we finish Planet of Lana, which I suspect I'm getting nearest to the end because I think that Seymour, the creature formerly known as Mui, M-U-I, that's how they spell it, I think. Anyway, I think that's the third act plot point, right? So if you look at it from a storytelling standpoint, typically in the third act something happens that changes the direction of the story. Really close to the end, like yeah. So I'm thinking it's probably like one or two vids left in that. That's just my feeling about it. Like probably from a video standpoint, maybe 20 to 40 minutes of video of content left. That's my thought. So going back to developing games, when I looked at and I thought I'd really like to I thought I bet I can do development. And I actually started out with Java, interestingly enough. And then I went to Python. And then I taught myself C++. And then all the front end stuff you want to do, like browser-based games. And love the part where you run in the desert and sunrise. There's so many beautiful parts of that game. So many beautiful parts. But so I just taught myself that. And the funny thing, when I looked at Java, it's the same with Python. when I looked at it, there's a weird thing that happens, and this is why I think that a lot of formally trained musicians make really good developers. It feels to me like it uses the same part of the brain as learning how to compose music. But there's a direct connection there. I looked at it and I immediately understood what it was, and I just needed to learn the syntax. The structure and everything else completely made sense. It's really a fascinating. Oh, for Pete's sake, stupid things. Get out of here, you dumb thing. Get out of here. Nobody wants you. You're stupid and ugly. Okay. I'm sorry. I lashed out at that. Oops. I lashed out at that silverfish. Now I feel bad. I legitimately do feel bad. So, coffee here. I taught myself design and I taught myself animation. And from animation, then I got into coding. And then I started making games for a living for a little bit. And I made games. The main thing I did game-wise was I did games for advertising agencies. So they wanted a game that would sometimes it was online, sometimes it was downloadables, whatever. And so I doubt that any of you ever heard of any of the games I made, because they were mainly small advert games. You got exactly two chapters. So there probably is 2 videos. So the thing I probably did the most work for that you might have seen was for Aardman Animations. So I did some stuff. I did some online games for diamonds, for Wallace and Gromit, and a couple of other things that they did. And they were the nicest people to work with. They were so cool. I remember for the Wallace and Gromit stuff I did, there was some last minute change that happened before, like the day before the game was supposed to be released. There was something that happened, and it was going to require me to work the night. That's not a big deal. That's when you're a freelancer. That's the way it goes, right? But this is before DoorDash and GitHub, Grubhub was a thing. They were so nice. They stayed up and were talking to me throughout the whole thing and just conversing with me and making sure that everything was okay, and had looked up where I lived and called the restaurant and had hired somebody to go pick up a really nice meal for me so that I have dinner. When I finished, they had somebody pick up a bottle of wine and send it to me so I could relax. They were the nicest people you can possibly imagine. I will never forget that. They were so nice. They were absolutely amazing. So if you look at Wallace and Gromit, you think it's got this feel-good thing that's made by really, really, really nice people. They deserve every single praise that they could get. Wait, I'm too far. I'll go 4 more. That's fine. Yeah, I will never forget how incredibly nice and generous and lovely they were. I can't speak their praises highly enough. So such kind, wonderful people to work with. I'd work with them again in a second. Did we get? Oh, we got a couple of diamonds. That's good. We'll call that good. Man, tons of Snorgle lore this video. This live stream, I should say. Like a metric ton. I was talking to somebody the other day, and they were. I was mentioning to them that I grew up in a large city. What? Glarb? Did someone say Glarb? Wait a minute. Just a second. Hello? Gribbler? Gribbler? Huh. Oh, I did some, by the way, I did some obsidian mining too, so I have more of that. I need to go to the end at some point. I do need to go to the end. I also need to, I need to get my, can we mine some gold? Why not? Since we're here. Yeah, I need to go to the end. I need to start doing some enchantments. This is stuff I need to do. It's so interesting to me though that like I'm extremely autodidactic, and that I the way that I typically teach myself something is I'll find something that you need to do. Like I'll have the tutorial and I'll look at the beginning of it and get the very basis of it, and then I do much better if I can look at the final product and evaluate what's happening. That's the way I generally teach myself. Hey, look, cave. Can we make it across? I don't know. Let's see here. Well, one thing that Watches Too Much taught me is light everything up like it's the surface of the sun. Actually, that's not the one thing. That's one of the things that Watches Too Much has taught me. There. Cool. The other one is don't be stupid about copper. Fair enough. She said it much more kindly than that, but that's what it boils down to. Ooh. All right, let's get some iron. Why not? Why not? I do need to do a little bit more with redstone. There's some things I want to practice to do. And I need to, so my goal for this year from Minecraft is, I mentioned this before, I want to go to the end and I want to try to do a speed run. And if I could do a speed run and get like, I would be ecstatic if I could get like something in around an hour. If I could finish Minecraft in an hour, I would feel really happy about that. And again, I'm not going to do ranked. I don't care, but I think it'd just be fun. I'm at the gold level, right? Not iron? I think I am. Okay. But maybe not iron? I don't know. There's an awful lot of iron around here. Did I hit one of those veins? I feel like I have. Okay, I need to do something here. Hold on. Uh-oh. Come here. Wrong. Wait. No, that's fine. I want to... Do I have a sign? Yes. Perfect. I'm going to put... Hold on. Where was it? Was it here? Let me see here. The one thing I learned about that is there. There, good. Wait. I don't know how to spell vein in that context. There. Let's go down here, though, and also put another sign here so that I know when to go into it. Yeah. Where's my other side here? There. Good. I have to put signs up because I have the memory of a vole. But I think that there was so much iron there. I think that's one of those things. And those iron veins, from what I understand, can go. You can get thousands and thousands. Like it's. I was looking up on it, and it's really cool. So we may run into that. I'll come back later for that. Yeah, look at this. This is supposed to be the gold level, and I'm just getting a metric ton of iron. That's fascinating. So I think we're on the right track here. I think. Okay. We'll go till we run out of torches, and then we'll find something else to do. Vein with an E. V-E-I-N. Thank you. Let's actually go change that because it's gonna drive me nuts. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. I'm such an idiot. Let's go get the other one too. It's not vain like that. I'm so stupid. Thank you. I mentioned before that a lot of my chat, the English is their second language, has a much better grasp of English than I do. I'm the product of public schools. Look at all this iron. This is crazy. This is interesting. I mean, I'd like to find some gold, but there's so much iron. Wow. Okay, here we go. Whoops. Close this up. Get in there. Yeah, we'll just go till we run out of torches. But we got 24 iron already on the gold level. That's so crazy. I'd love to know what speedrunners read map their like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 keys to. Because I know they do. Like I watch them and I can't quite figure it out. So I was watching. Speaking of speedrunners, this is not real speedrun. This is more PvP. But I was watching. Marlo has a video where she talks a little bit about some of the stuff she's doing, and she's such a great player. Like it's shocking how good she is, and it's so disappointing that the PvP community is so toxic. They have to, she's cheating. A girl can't actually be this good. It really is frustrating to me. And I can't imagine how frustrating it is for her. You know? She actually had to produce a video showing she wasn't cheating, where she did unedited, uncut. She bought a new laptop, set it up, had everything going, installed a bunch of software on it. It's all in a unedited video. Installed a bunch of software that would check for cheating and make sure that she's not cheating, and then just wreck everybody that she fights. And people are still like, oh, she's cheating. Like I hate it so much. Like I really. Yeah, you can't believe people like that are still out there. I know, right? It just. She's so good. And instead of learning from it, people are just being stupid and misogynistic and jerks. Like one of the things that blew me away, she talked about this a little bit, was she discovered that when you do knockback, when you hit somebody, they get knocked back. But they don't get knocked back according to what you would expect. In other words, if you can hit somebody and in the same tick look a different direction, they get knocked back the direction you're looking at them. What? Like, what? That's amazing. like how people don't look at that and go, that's one of the most amazing things I've ever seen in my entire life. Instead, they just have to be jerks about it. Like, I mean, my oh, hold on. I mean, the whole idea that oh, it couldn't possibly be a girl is just so infuriating to me. Like you people need to go away. Should we do more of these? I feel like I should. I don't know. We have time. I mean, the fact you can look at her, there's a video of her playing Clown Paris, who, you know, I mean, there's the whole Clown Paris is the most dangerous, and that's whatever. Like, that's just publicity, essentially. But, oh, wow, we need another level of boxes, like chests. Interesting. Let me think. 16? 24? 32. Okay. The fact that she can play Clown Paris. Beat him PvP 100 times in a row. No joke. He didn't score once on her. That should be enough that anybody ever needs to see. Like, just period. What's going on? Oh, shoot. I have to go up one. I'm stupid. Okay. We got this. Oh, everything's getting screwed up. Oh, my God. Well, we'll figure it out later. Oh, man. Let's do this for now. I need stone. There. So, yeah, I mean, I'm so, some communities are just so toxic, and the Minecraft PvP community is one of those. Like it's really disappointing because there's so much cool stuff happening, and there's just a lot of people who suck, you know? Okay, we can do this. And nope. Yeah, put this in here. I need more of this. This can go in here. I'll get 2 so we keep it nice and even. There. Yeah, it's just there's so much weird toxic stuff that happens. And even, you know, even somebody who's good, like there was somebody, who was it? It was even there's somebody like Pineberg, right? Who is objectively a very good player. He's probably from a speedrunning community. He's probably the number 3, number 4 player, but he's also he's kind of a jerk. Like, I'm just gonna say that. Like he has this, you know, this bromance thing going on with Ludwig, which is funny, but he's also just kind of a jerk. Like, let's see, that's Anesthite. That's that. Need that. Wait. What's that? Stone. That's what I wanted. Okay, that's what I was wondering. But the PvP community in particular just seems like they're awful, horrible, terrible people. Not all of them, obviously. I mean, Barney does PvP, and he's a very, very nice person. But there's a lot of PvP people who are not. They're just objectively horrible people. Let's see. What is this? Oh, I forgot I had 16 phantom membranes. I'm kind of excited about that. Okay, let's put this here. Put this over here. We're doing okay. We probably should get some more wool. Okay. Haircut time. Oh, sorry. Oh, no. Everything going horribly wrong. Okay, sorry. Great. Now they all smell like wet sheep. Which, if you ever have smelled wet sheep, it's not pleasant. Okay. Let's see. Where did I put my... Where's my wool? There it is. Good deal. I kind of want to play with the phantoms a little more. Maybe I should not sleep for a while and do that. I think I need to move all of this down here a little more. I don't feel like doing it because it's going to be a pain, but I think I need to do that. Oops. Oh, no. Let's take care of that because... Let's see. Yeah, let's take care of that just so it looks better. Nope. Where is that? Down here? Yes. Just take care of this. In a jiffy. Bonk. Where does this go? I forgot what this leads to. Oh, this is where I got the cows, I think. Right? Wait. Let's just spiff this up while we can, you know? Like, I think it's amazing to watch Marlo. But here's the thing that's interesting me watching Marlo play PvP. Is that I never would have thought that such a huge part of PvP is resource management. And it's interesting to me to see Marlo kind of force players, like when she in the count piercing, she was talking about how like he gets off of his game. He's so good, she gets him off of his game, and then he like ends up eating a gapple before he needs to. So he ends up using that resource before it absolutely needs to the point where at the end he doesn't have any and she can just wreck him. Like it's so interesting. Like it's really fascinating to me. I would not have thought that was part of it. And it's interesting how effective it is. This tree is incredible. I think that's absolutely fascinating. I think it's so interesting. And like I said, I would not have thought that was part of PvP in the least. That wouldn't have even occurred to me. I mean, the other side too is things like I was watching Rec Rap. Who was it? Mallow, I think. And she was teaching him PvP, and one of the things she was showing him was so interesting. Things like apparently there's an uppercut. I don't know exactly what it is and how it is, but no. But there's an uppercut. Okay, that's done. Oh, this isn't. Okay. And it's a thing, right? And she was explaining. Oh, I don't have. Oh, okay. We have to get more torches. But she was explaining to him that one of the peculiarities of using the uppercut is that if an opponent is just out of range, for whatever reason, if you can hit them with an uppercut when you can't with any other thing. And so it becomes it's a really effective way, which I thought was really cool. Like somebody figured, I haven't heard anybody else say that. And even Rec Rap was talking about how he hadn't even considered it. Like he didn't even realize that was a thing. But also that how she was doing it was so difficult, you know? Like what she was doing was phenomenally difficult for even someone who's as skilled as Rec Rap. I mean, Rec Rap is a really good player. And even he was like, Minecraft is so hard. And that's the thing. I think that I always feel like there's people who grew up with Minecraft, right? And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. The people who grew up with it, like I did, I mean, my friends did, But I didn't because I didn't want to play it because I don't like crafting games. Like just flat out, you know? I don't like it. And so it's just not my experience, right? And and so as a consequence, I just don't have that. I don't have that relationship with it, you know. And that's one of the reasons why I like the Exploring Minecraft series because it's do I want that? I don't think I do. That's better. Because it allows me to sort of have a nice, intimate time with the game and learn more about it, you know, in ways that are profound and meaningful. And that's... Okay, we should go to sleep. And I do miss the Phantoms, I'm not gonna lie. I do genuinely miss the Phantoms, but... I don't understand why the chat thing comes up when I go to sleep. Like the chat command line thing. I think that's weird. But I'm, you know, so Ludwig, who's a very famous streamer, YouTuber, has been learning Minecraft this year, speedrunning. Dude, you're gonna screw everything up. Fine. Let's see, where are we gonna go? Where can we go where you can explode and not mess everything up? Hey, buddy. Come here. Come here. Come over here. Yep, you know what? We'll have to fix that later. Maybe we'll fix it now. We have dirt. I don't like having a huge hole in my house. I have dirt, right? I do. Oh, yeah. Like a stack and a half should do, I think. Just fix it now. Why not? Why not? Okay. Let's see here. But even like I was so impressed, for example, with Ludwig that he's gotten really good, and he gets regularly gets sub 20-minute times, and it's really interesting to me to see that he clearly, you know, and people dunk on him, like the Minecraft speedrunners dunk on him, and they partially dunk on him because they're getting the views, right? But even then, some of them will say he's clearly put the time in, like he's gotten really quite good. Let's fill this in. It's funny. Stop it. But it's interesting for me to watch. Like I said, someone like Ludwig, who's you know, he's a good player, get better and better and better, and he's doing Minecraft rank, but he's a sports ball guy, so I guess whatever. I don't have anything against sports ball people. I just don't like it myself. I can say that. It's not for me. It was so funny. I this is a while ago. I went to dinner, and with my bestie to actually a pretty nice restaurant, and it's at this facility that's part of a major sports ball team here, and they had these it's like an outdoor mall type of thing, right? And just randomly, they have these just big things that jut out with a number on it. I told my bestie, what the heck is this? Why is there this number here? And she was like, it's sports ball people, you idiot. Like it's some famous number of some famous sports ball person. She was kinder about it than that, but that was basically what it boiled down to. I was like, oh, okay. People actually know the numbers of like their favorite sports ball players? He was like, of course. Like, oh, I had no idea. I went and did some grocery shopping the other day, yesterday in fact, and I mentioned this before. I do here like in the US, curbside pickup thing. You have it delivered. You can also go and they'll just fulfill your order for you and pick it up. And I like the process of grocery shopping, but curbside pickup makes me feel fancy. At 100% right. I have to admit it. 100%. It makes me feel like I'm super fancy. So I always get curbside pickup because it makes me feel like I'm being a fancy boy. But it was so crowded. I was like, what is going on? There's some sports ball game today or tomorrow. I don't know. I am going to do, by the way, it's a little channel stuff. I am going to do more of the Hidden Cats series because I enjoy that quite a bit. I really like doing it on the stream, so I'll probably do that. So here's what I'm thinking. I think we need a path that comes up here. And I'm thinking of doing it out of maybe deep slate. And I want it to follow. So I'm not going to add anything new. I want it to follow this. And then I want it to go down here. Again, following this, right? Oh, I wish that pig could come right over here. I don't have any carrots. And there's no carrots in that stupid village. And then just follow the shape of this down to go down to the sea. Because I do want to check out the sea at some point. And so that's my idea. That's my big idea here is that I'm going to start doing some stuff and making some pathways because I think that's going to be an easier thing to do. But I need until I beat the Ender Dragon and get an Elytra. But I think that would be really cool to have like things that follow the exact contour of the land as it was. I think that'd be really neat. I like that. I think that's cool. Maybe one going up there, following up there. I kind of also need to make sure that I need more. Nope. Wait. We got 6. That should be okay. Okay. I don't know how many 6s. I think 6 is going to be 48. All right. 24. That was distinctly wrong. Okay. Oh, of course it is. Because 4. I'm stupid. Okay. Okay. This should be 32. Okay. Put this back. Let's get some more coal. So, yeah, some sports bulking coming up. So it was super busy. Like the thing was so busy. It was crazy. Normally it's not that busy. We have to fix this at some point. Yeah, we have to fix that. Just make it stone. But cool. Good. Mm-hmm. All right, let's go. I want to keep up on getting coal because I use it all the time and it's really a pain when you want to do something and you don't have enough coal. So I would like to go to the roof of the nether in this playthrough as well. I checked into it, and apparently the end and the nether are not amplified. It's just the overworld, which is good to know. Uh-oh. Okay. Hey, cool. So let's see. Let's get some coal. Minecraft is very generous with coal, which I appreciate. Hey, look at that. Copper too. Neat. Need to go for a bit? Back now, hooray! I'm really excited about going to the end now. And I wasn't before because of the dragon. That's fine. You know, I make a lot of exceptions for Minecraft and stuff that I normally wouldn't. But I think that I mentioned this a little bit before, but it was before some people were here, so we can talk about this a little bit. It's I'm excited about it because there's an entire, I feel like it changes the way the game is played in a not insignificant way, right? Because there's so many people who their goal is to get to the end, get an elytra, get skulker boxes, and then that's when they start playing, right? That's when the game really starts. And I think that's interesting. Coal veins are always really big. Yeah, they really are. I mean, it's interesting. I think that coal veins are actually, I could be wrong about this, but I think that coal veins might actually be bigger in Minecraft 1 than they are currently. It's just a thought that I had. Okay, there we go. I also appreciate the fact that coal is a fairly decent way to get some XP. I appreciate that. I appreciate that very much. Okay. How far am I going? Hold on, I'm stupid. So I always go like 100 just because I watched this video and they said that's what you should do. So 104, so we need to go to 0, basically. Okay. Nice. But I'm really looking forward to what it's going to be like after I beat the dragon, get an elytra, and some skulker boxes. Because it sounds stupid, right? It sounds dumb and it's not going to be that much of a difference, but my thought is it really does radically change how you play. Suddenly, if you want to go check out some things, it's easy, right? You just put on your elytra and fly there. It radically changes how you experience the game, and it's what turned me around to this, and maybe not just I'm going to accept it and do it because I hate dragons, but I make a lot of exceptions in playing Minecraft that normally are hard passes for me. Dragons being one of them, you know. That almost prevented me from playing Minecraft in the first place. I mentioned that, right? On another Discord, this is before I had this Discord, Um. Oh my gosh! What? Oh, you stupid thing! Get out of here! Stop it! Go away! Go away! What is going on? How come I can't place something there? I don't like it. Okay. I can't see anything either. I can't see a blurf and sklurb. Okay. Oh, for Pete's sake. Okay. I'm greedy though, and I want to get this coal, so. Oh my gosh. There. Okay. My green is going to be my. It's going to be my downfall. But I just think it's going to be really interesting to play the game post beating the Ender Dragon, because I think it seems to me like it's a completely different thing that I haven't experienced at all, and so many people that's their main goal. It's almost like I feel like that for some people that's when the game starts, is after you quote unquote beat it. I mentioned earlier I'd learn how to one cycle. Yes, I would. Yeah, very much so. Yep. I won't need to have a long fight. Normal? No, I just no. It's I'm not super. I've seen the normal things, and I sort of know how it works. My thought is that I want to. The one cycle thing is part of my this year. I want to try speed running, and I don't feel like I understand zero cycling, and I don't think that I have the skills to zero cycle, and I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. I was going to be honest with you. Getting those type of muscle memory skills takes time. And I don't have time to devote to that as well. But I feel like one cycling is something I could do. I feel like that could be in my wheelhouse. And I'm not going to do that for the first time, right? I'm just going to kill the dragon regular, like normal people. Oh, for Pete's sake! Fine, stupid water. Oh no, it's so. Let's be clear. I don't like dragons. I want to be very clear here. It's not because I'm afraid. I don't like dragons, and I still don't like them. But, I also can say with absolute conviction that I also don't like crafting games. I don't like games where you mine. I don't like games where you craft. I'm not particularly into games where there's melee. But I love Minecraft. And Minecraft has all these things, and I like all those aspects of Minecraft. 2, 3, 4, 5. And so my thought was, when I decided I'm going to go to the end, I'm going to beat the dragon, and I'm not going to cheese it, as it were. It's mainly because it's part of the game. And I can't think of a single thing in this game that I've done so far that I didn't like on one way or another. Like, I really enjoyed when we would do PvP. It's not really for me, but it was fun, and I enjoyed it. And it's the same with like crafting. I so much enjoy what I'm doing right now, just mining stuff. And I can't think of another game where I actually enjoy that, because I don't. It's just, I'm going to put a light here just temporarily because I can't see a thing. And when I realized that the dragon could very well be the same thing, Minecraft could be the exception for me and the dragon. And I really want to experience everything this game has to offer. And I have so much that I need to do. But a huge, non-insignificant part of that is the Ender Dragon, right? I don't think it's especially hard, per se. But because I've watched people fight the Ender Dragon, and it seems like you just have to know what to do. And I would imagine if you're winning cold, it would take a while to figure it out. But I think the whole idea of going in initially and knocking out all the magic things that give the dragon life, that's okay, sure. That's arrow stuff. I can do that. I don't have the best arrow skills, but I'm fine, and that feels like in my wheelhouse. move so the dragon doesn't hit you. Learn when the dragon is perching, so you can come up and smack its face with your sword. Like, okay, like that's all. I feel like all that's doable, and don't look at Enderman. And then go out to some of the islands and find some ender chests and find some skulkers and some elytra and I think that I feel with the speedrun, am I going to stream it or I'm just going to? I think both. I think that what I'm going to do is I think it would be good to stream me practicing it, and I might that's a really good point, Barney, because I might actually live stream those more because people get weird about let's plays of speedruns unless you're low key or someone like that. People always get weird and snarly about it. And I'm not doing it for the whatevers, but I think at the moment I feel like I'm going to speedrun the training, and then I'm not sure about I can't see a blurf and sklurf. And I'm not sure about doing a let's play. I might do a let's play of it. I'm gonna have to get one of those counter things. So I'm sure that's a mod I can find, but I'm gonna have to get one of the counter thingies. But yeah, I've quite decided yet. I'll have to give that some thought, Barney. But I do think that some speedrunning streams would be fun. Would be super fun. I mean, and I don't, I'm trying to be realistic here, and I look at someone like Ludwig, who's clearly practiced, but also probably a better Minecraft player than I was, just because he's been playing it for so long. Ludwig consistently now gets sub 20s, right? Which I think is really good. Like he's ranked gold, I think, and I think that's really good. That's for somebody who's only been doing it a few weeks. I think that's incredible. Good for him. I'm never going to get to that point. If I could beat the game in an hour, I would be over the top ecstatic, like just completely over the top. Oh, hold on, I missed one. Like that would be one of the most amazing things that's ever happened to me in Minecraft. Let's see. Hold on, just a second. I need like 30 seconds. I just kind of package delivered. I don't want to sit up my front porch, so give me 30 seconds. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So I'm thinking with the speedrunning thing, maybe it'd be better if I used a known seed. That might be a little bit easier for me. So that I wouldn't have to, so much wouldn't be just RNG, right? And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of want the desert temple thing because this is so stupid. I really am attracted to the way that they use the TNT in the temple to get all the stuff out of the chests. I know it's stupid, but I think it's so cool. But I think using a specific seed is probably the way to go, at least initially. I also would really like to figure out, I kind of know how they do this, but I don't know the specifics of it. I really love that the speedrunners can look at like a chunk, and tell you exactly where the buried treasure is because it's always in the same spot in the chunk. That is so cool. Yeah, I'm fascinated by the speedrunning community, and it's a relatively new fascination for me. And part of it was just, I've seen Feinberg dunking on Ludwig, and I thought it was funny. And Ludwig obviously thinks it's funny too. They have a, like I said, they have a bromance thing going on there. But then I started looking at it and getting into it. And the thing that, I'll tell you what really did it for me. It was Tubbo's annual thing where he takes Minecrafters who aren't speedrunners and has them compete with really, really high-level speedrunning coaches, like really high-level players who coach them how to play. That's what made me look at it and go, this is actually really cool. It's called the mid-something? I don't remember. Mid-offs, that's it. I thought that was really cool. And that's the first thing I looked at that was like, what a neat idea. And it just made me look at it and go, wow, this is really some really specific things and things you have to practice. But if I feel like if I keep it real, right? And say, can I beat Minecraft in an hour? I think that's a relatively reasonable goal. I mean, I think saying, I want to get a sub, 20 minute. I'm not sure I have the time to dedicate that's going to allow me to get the muscle memory to do that, right? Just even the thing where they like they find a lava pit and like make a another portal with a bucket of water, that like with a lava bucket with water pouring down. That's so cool. One of the things you've seen about Feinberg is video of him reacting to Geometry Dash. It's one of the worst editing you've ever seen. Yeah, his his stuff is not super high quality. Like, I'll just say that, like, just in general. He does a fair amount of reaction videos, but there's something about him. Part of it is just he's very hubristic, you put it that way. And he kind of doesn't realize it. Like, I remember him, he's like, what, 23, I think? I remember him lecturing somebody on what it's like to get older, and somebody in chat was like, dude, you're 23, what do you know about it? And I was like, that's a really good point. We'll just go through. I went too far. Okay. But he's a good player, and I've watched his live streams, but I actually learned quite a bit about it. So I think that I like I said, if I just keep it real, start off with saying, can I do a fixed seed speed run of Minecraft and beat it in an hour? Is that something I can do? And I feel like that, and like I said, there's some things I just kind of want to learn how to do. And it's, like I said, it's so stupid, but like I just think it's the coolest thing I've seen in speedrunning is the Desert Temple thing where they like use the TNT to explode everything and get all the stuff that's in the chests. I don't know why I think that's so cool, but I do. It's just so neat. And I know it's stupid. I know it's incredibly dumb. I can't help it. I mean, in some ways, I'm still an 8-year-old. Like I said, I realize it's incredibly dumb and not a particularly good look for me, but I have to be honest. That's one thing I am with the community, is 100% honest. And you guys keep me honest too. I'll say that. Like, oh, with the how they make a portal with lava. I know, it's so cool. Like, it's amazing to me. I was watching SB737 when he was training for the mid-offs, and he would practice that. It was so cool. It just looks so neat. It is cool, Barney, but it's also, the thing about speedrunning too is that it's so interesting to watch somebody that has really worked really hard to get that level of exactitude in interacting with the game. Like, it's so interesting to me. And I'm always curious, like when speedrunners aren't speedrunning, how much of that do they do? I feel like they've got to do that, right? Like when speedrunners aren't doing speedrunning, just playing Minecraft normally, they've got to keep doing some of that stuff, I would think. I love the idea that someone figured out like how to place beds around a blaze spawner to maximize the amount of blazes that spawn. Like that's so amazing to me that someone figured that out. I'd love to know who figured that out. I also want to learn how they nobody explains this, and I understand that there's like a pie chart thing. If you had to make a portal like that to know what you'd be mining obsidian, that's a fair point. That is 100% a fair point. That's an excellent point. Fair enough, because it's significantly easy. Can I make it through this, or can we gonna call it? I think we'll call it. Okay. Yeah, we'll place this down here and say, nope, there's something here. What am I doing? Holy crap! Look at all that. Let's do one more. One more little coal mine. But I would love to know that, like, so I know that they do a couple of things, and I generally understand what they're doing, but I don't understand the specifics of it, right? Like, they do this thing where they use a pie chart to help them find, like the F3 pie chart, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 more. The heck? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They do the pie chart to help them find, like where the end portal is in a stronghold, and they don't explain what they're doing. And I've tried to look it up, and nobody explains what they're doing. I have a guess. My guess is because I think. Tell me if I'm wrong, because I very well could be. This is just 100% a guess. I think that you can use that pie chart, and it will show you whichever direction you're facing. It shows you what like blocks are that facing, and the amount that are in that you're facing. And so my guess is that they're using. My guess is that they're using. How do I say this? They're using that to find the lava that's at the end, where the end portal is. And so that's number one. Number two is they also seem to have a really intimate knowledge of how a stronghold is structured. So like when they get there, when they make a portal to go to the stronghold, they want to try to be as accurate as possible, because it places them in like the start, which I don't quite understand what that is, but they mention that it places them in the start, and that from there they know that the end portal is only going to be so many blocks away from that. The pie chart can show you block entities. Yeah. Oh, it shows you the spawn. Okay, so not just the lava, it would show you the spawner. Got it. That's interesting. Okay, that makes sense. So I'm assuming then sometimes when they bring that up in the nether, they're doing that to try to find like a fortress or something, because they would be able to look and say, oh, there's pigos this way or whatever. I'm assuming. Uh-oh, stop. Oh my gosh, hold on, wait. It's also funny to me that, like, apparently people give RecRap a bunch of crap because when he builds stuff, he clicks and drags. And I'm like, is that because, like, speedrunners are so accurate that they don't use the fast build thing? I don't actually know. The other thing I think is interesting is that everybody, with some exceptions, everybody uses that third-party tool that tells you with certain exactitude how where it is, right? 100%, it's at these coordinates, so you can go there. Which is you know, I think that I personally think that no speedrunning should use that. I think that everybody should do it on their own because, you know, Feinberg has demonstrated that it's possible and it's just a little technique and it adds some more time. But, you know, I can't think of another speedrunning community that allows using a third-party tool in official runs. That's crazy to me, but what do I know? I'm not a speedrunningsologist. You feel like it would make the smallest difference. I know that's what I felt like too. It's but he gets, I mean, he consistently gets crap about it. Like, and I understand when people are talking like PvP, for example, and saying, don't use the scroll wheel, right? Like you should always use the numbers and remap them if you need to. And they certainly do. If you look at like really good speedrunners, their left hand never moves off WASD. Like, it does a little bit, obviously, with surrounding keys, but obviously they've remapped 5 to 9 somewhere else on their keyboard that's easy for them to get without having to move their hand, which makes sense, you know. But the click and drag is just so interesting to me. And I just wonder if it's not even a speed thing, if it's just an accuracy thing. I don't know. Because the movements and everything are so practiced and accurate. I think it's really fascinating. I feel like RecRap is one of the few Minecraft players that is extremely diverse. He does speedruns, he does PvP, he does lifesteal. Like, I think it's really interesting to me. He seems very diverse. He does. I mean, he says he doesn't really do builds, but he does. Like he's. I think he builds some nice stuff. It's not the best stuff in the world, but I think it's solid. You know. And he apparently does not think so. Oh shoot! I don't have a. Wait, hold on. I know what I can do. I know exactly what I can do because I am ready for this. We'll do this. Okay, put this here. Oh, I'm almost full too. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. Oh, for Pete's sake. What do I not need so I can pick this up? You know what? Come back for you later. Okay. Wait. I like it up there. Stop that. Oh my gosh. Okay, we have to take care of this because I'm full. It's so easy to underestimate your work. Why doesn't think his buildings are great? Yeah, I also think that he's comparing his builds to like people who are primary builders and are really, really good, which is not a fair comparison, right? It's like if you want to do speed running and you're comparing yourself to Loki, you're comparing yourself to somebody who holds the world record. Like, you're not going to be that fast. That doesn't mean you suck, right? Which I think is a good life lesson too, right? Just in general. It was so funny though. He was. Oh, it's raining. What did I see him doing? He was doing something. Let's see. I'm gonna try to. We don't have any of that. Do we have any? Yeah, we have a little bit of door there, right? We have some of that. Okay. Nope. This is andesite. Do we have andesite? We do. Gravel. Do we have gravel? I thought we do have gravel, don't we? We don't? The heck? Okay. I feel like that Rec Rap is one of the good guys. Like, they seem very genuine. Okay. Put this stuff in here. Put the lapis in here. I've just got a full stack of obsidian. We can put that there. That there. Give me a full stack and keep the extra 9. Actually, let's go ahead and put the 9 in here. Let's just do that. Oh, I didn't realize I had that much iron. Okay. Let's get some more of this going. The time when you compare yourself to one of the best Geometry Dash players? Because he's around your age? Yeah. Yeah, it really is. It really, I'm not too it's dumb, but I think it's easy to do, you know? But it's not, I don't think it's healthy to do that, you know? I think it's unhealthy, in fact, to compare yourself like that. Just in general, I'm not singling you out. I mean, just in general. Okay. Let's see here. Let's make a few more of these. Nope. Stop. Yep. I think. Yeah. We'll get a full stack. There we go. Put it back. That's one thing going back to the where is it? There it is. Let's go back because I think I left some stuff down here and I want to get it. Going back to like even Rec Rap and it's an interesting thing because you see people. There's not everybody has their own strengths and weaknesses. And so like when I was a musician, one of the things they drill into you is that you may be talented and you may be good, but there's always somebody who's better than you by a long shot. And so you need to just bring your own individual value to things, right? Like you should offer something unique. That nobody else can offer, and maybe it's not the best, and maybe it's not whatever, but it's something that's unique to you and that you can offer. And I really like that a lot. I like that whole concept. I think it's a really healthy way to look at things. that I'm an individual and I am offering these things, and these things are important and they're unique to me. And I feel like, in some ways, I don't think I've talked about this, but getting back a little bit to music, being a formally trained musician, I feel like that if you look at the history of jazz in particular, right, it kind of had its heyday recently, right? Oh, what's going on here? Oh, what the heck? Get out of here. Not its heyday, but it had it was very popular in the 70s. People could make a living being a jazz musician. And the thing you want to do, and this was driven in school, is you have to have your own voice. You have to have a unique voice, and you want it so that people can hear you and be like, okay, that's Snorgle, right? That's important. And for a lot of reasons, I'm not going to get into it historically, but there are very specific reasons why. There's one particular jazz musician who was very influential, and I'm sure you know this name, and I'm not going to say it, who it is, but has been purposely responsible for the downfall of jazz because they're weird and a jerk, and they always have been. And so if you look at jazz from the 70s on, there's been a slow slide away from it, which is what it is, right? Not everything can be around forever, but the internet has done something very interesting, which is, I'm going to say, in some ways, it's been the savior of jazz. It's also doomed it. And here's what I mean by that. Your phone died? Your mind what happened in the last minute? Sure. I was talking a little bit about going back to music a little bit. We were talking, I mentioned that I don't think it's healthy to compare yourself to other people, right? Because one of the things they drill into you when you get a formal degree in music is that there's always a musician who's going to be better than you. There's always a musician who's going to have more chops. There's always going to be a musician who has better ideas. There always is, no matter what. That's just the way it is. Like that's the reality of life, and you need to come to that you need to be realistic and realize that that's the way it is. So what you want to do is you want to create a unique voice. You want to create something that when they hear you play, people will say, "Oh, I know who that is. That's Snorgle, right? Or that's Michael Brecker, or whatever, right? That's what you want to do. You want to create a voice, or Anthony Jackson, like you want a voice where you hear somebody play and you're like, yep, I know exactly who that is." But historically, from a jazz standpoint, people in the 70s and 80s, apparently, I mean, it's before my time, but people in the 70s and 80s, if you were a good musician, you could make a living playing jazz. That's not the case anymore. It's very rare that people make a living just playing jazz. You typically have to do something else. Again, piano players have it a little bit easier because you can always do sort of casuals. You can play at a nice restaurant and just play some background music and that's good. But the things you find it comforting to know there's somebody, but it's very, when you realize that that's going to happen, it's very inspiring, isn't it? You see somebody who's so good at something, it's like, that inspires me to be better myself. But throughout the 90s and early 2000s and 2010s, there's a specific jazz musician who has a lot of influence and has done, not on purpose, but just because of ego, has done more damage to jazz being popular than anyone else in the entire history combined. And I firmly believe that this person is distinctly responsible for the decline in jazz in the early 2000s and 2010s. But what saved jazz is social media. Like a bunch of people who maybe would have just been like the lone weirdo who really wanted to play jazz, found people of their own tribe, right? The problem is, it's also doomed it because nobody in social media who's playing jazz, they have a lot of chops and they have the skill, but they don't have a unique voice at all. There's nothing that stands out about them from a creativity standpoint. They just have a lot of chops. And it's always this is the most complicated bass line, blah, blah, blah. Like, and it's just, yeah, but you're not saying anything, you know, like it's an art form, and you need to be expressing yourself when you're just playing hard stuff. It's a kind of an enigma, you know. It's an interesting thing. And I'm completely done with that. I don't play music anymore. Sometimes a little bit for myself, but not even that much. I just don't do it anymore, so it doesn't really matter to me at all. But I think it's an interesting thing. I love watching people who are so good at something, right? But the other side of that, right, is there's some people a couple who are legitimate geniuses. Jacob Collier, you may not care for his music, but he's doing things that no one else can do, and I don't understand why it works. He does this. If you listen to like I'm trying to think of a good example of this. Something that fits out the most, right, is if you look up, he's got an a cappella version he does of Moon River, where he does like 75 voices all himself. And look up the video. But also, not only is he so exacting that he can do that, the harmony shouldn't work. He's doing these microtonal harmonies, and I think they're based on the Overtone series, but I'm not sure. And it shouldn't work. It just 100% shouldn't work. It should sound like they're wrong notes, and it doesn't. It sounds amazing, and I don't fully understand it. I don't have to either. Like it's you know, it's just so that you have someone like that also. So it's just there's this weird dichotomy of what social media has done for music. I think it's really fascinating. It's really interesting. Okay, let's see. Yeah, it is really cool. I highly recommend looking up Jacob Collier and Moon River, because just thinking about doing that yourself, I don't understand it. Like, I don't understand how his brain works. He's a legitimate genius. Uh-oh. Oh gosh. Okay, this is bad. I mean, it's not that bad, but let's just close this up. Okay. We're going to say nope. I'm making a decent amount of coal, though. Yeah, I always bring up Jacob Collier when I bring up people that like he's one of a kind. Nobody in history has ever done anything like he's doing. Quincy Jones found him from some of his YouTube videos, Jacob Collier's YouTube videos. And he used to go talk to, Quincy Jones is a very famous jazz musician and producer. And he used to go, stories are that he used to go into meetings with like record executives. And he'd pull out a Bluetooth speaker and play Jacob Collier, and he'd say to them, "Have you heard anything like this before? Because I haven't. No one does this." I don't even understand what it is. For someone like Quincy Jones to say, "I don't understand what's happening," is incredible. Yeah, okay. Search him up next time. Yeah. You absolutely should, because he's like I said, I don't care for all of his music, but it's not, some of it's just not stuff that I'm particularly into. But he's incredible, and he's doing stuff that I don't understand. I'll just flat out say, I do not understand what's going on with that. We're gonna neaten this up, I think. Okay, that's fine. This goes in here. That goes in there. Okay, so we're doing pretty good. We have 4 full stacks. I feel good about that. Andesite. Is andesite here? No, that's gravel. I have gravel too. That's tough. Isn't this andesite? No. Andesite? Hello? Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay. Put this here. I think I can put, I don't want to take up a slot with that extra shovel, so I'm gonna, I really do like my recessed lighting. I like it a lot. And I think we can put this here for now, just to store it, you know? I'm going to have to move these, but I'm not looking forward to it. Uh-oh, nighttime. We'll go to sleep. I think let's do one more day. Gribbler? Hello? Gribbler? Okay, well there's a gribble up there burning. Hold on, let's just put this in here just in case. Gribbler? Hello? I saw you burning. Did you drop something? Gribbler? Hello there. Ouch! Wait a minute, what are you doing? Did you drop anything? Eh. Okay. Good. Good. I want to make the outside of this look better. And I'm kind of thinking of making this whole thing down here, this bottom part, recreating it, but in all cobbled blackstone, or maybe like blackstone tiles. Just this whole thing right here, maybe? Not sure. To play around with it a little bit. I want to make it look better. I want to make it look cool. But I really am enjoying Amplified an enormous amount, more than I thought I would. If you have Minecraft Java, I highly recommend checking it out because it's really cool. It's just really neat. It's so funny. Like, there's so much, how do I say this? There's so much that you take for granted in regular Minecraft. Oh, that's right. I was gonna fix something here. Like, there's so much you take for granted in regular Minecraft, you know? I'm gonna just make these just to save space here. Just to save space. I learned this on Lifesteal. I was watching Lifesteal and I saw that a bunch of people do this one had a ton of stuff to save space. I was like, that's a really cool idea. I really like that. I know it's not rocket science, but I just like it. There. One more. Cool. Not long ago you played Minecraft and saw a skeleton holding a bow? Really? I was wondering about that, Barney. I actually literally was thinking that exact same thing. Fixing some lighting issues with skeleton skulls right now? Fixing isn't the right word. Well, like putting a band-aid over it. Yeah, I know how to really fix it. That's so funny, Barney. I was legitimately just wondering if there's left-handed and right-handed players. And I wonder if you can change that on, like, Steve. Okay, got this. We have that. Actually, let's go ahead and just I want to stay up on this. You feel that pain. Okay, put this here. Put this here. Yeah, we definitely need to get this going. Put that there. There. Okay, good. That going. You can change your primary hand in the settings if you want. Oh, that's so cool. That is so cool. I mean, I don't really feel the need to because I'm in real life, I'm right-handed, and that's fine. But I just think it's really cool. I think it's really neat. Again, I mentioned before that it's such a thoughtful game. Like, it's shocking to me how thoughtful it is. Let's go ahead and do a little farming. Okay, we need some something here. Okay. Let's see here. Put that there. Yep. That there. Good. I mean, we've got it, so we might as well use it, right? We get consistency. Is that everything? Okay. We talked about skeletons at the same time. I know, right? Okay. Just so we have a nice stock of wheat here. So I noticed something interesting. I noticed some on, I think it was Lifesteal, that some of the a not insignificant amount of the Minecrafters plant their crops when they're planting crops going backwards. And there's something interesting that happens because when you go forward, you just hold and go. When you go forward, wait a minute, what do I have 3 extra? The heck? When you go forward, sometimes you can just miss it. Sometimes we'll just miss it. And when you go backwards, it never does. I think that's interesting. I think that's really, really interesting. Put that in there. What am I doing here? Well, we're going to go and put these away. Put this here. Gotta get stock. We need to get started on the sugarcane too, though. Like, we legitimately need to get started on that. Probably, those aren't quite ready yet. That's fine. Your skeleton. There's got to be a cave down here. There's got to be. Skeleton? Skelly? No? I would think there would be a cave down there. There's that pig. That pig needs to get over here. I mean, I can't breed them because I don't have any carrots, but I wouldn't mind having a pig. I'm just saying. I need to find another village as well. Okay. I think I'm going to continue doing by the way, the Hidden Cats in a Place series. I've been enjoying that immensely. I think that video went out today. I'm enjoying it a huge amount, like a lot. So I think that's. I think I'm going to continue that. I mentioned this before in the live stream. I used to play those types of games as a kid, as a very young kid, and I was sucked at them. And for some reason, I've kind of improved as an adult. I don't quite understand it. that looks like an interesting place to explore. But I keep thinking about getting an elytra and how everything changes. You're able to just fly around and explore, and everything's relatively safe. And I mean, I think that's interesting. I'm genuinely curious. I know that phantoms are the fastest mob, and they're the only mob that is faster than you can run, which is interesting. But what's interesting to me is, how does that apply if you have an elytra and fireworks? Like, can you outrun a phantom with an elytra and fireworks? I don't know the answer to that. It's an interesting question, though, I think. I'll get some of this. I like looking in there. Oh, 3 eggs. Oh, more than 3. Okay. Is it nighttime? Can it be nighttime? Can we go to sleep, or is it not going to let us? And I think that that's a pretty good place to end this live stream. A little longer than I thought, but it was super fun. Great talking to you. I do highly recommend, if you weren't here for the very beginning, maybe watch the first hour of the VOD, because there is deep Snorgle lore that I have not talked about before. I've touched on it a little bit, but I get much more into it in great detail. So if you're curious about some Snorgle lore, go check it out. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time for another live stream or in my next Let's Play. I'll see you next time.